Yo, yo.
Good afternoon, Willie. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm feeling a little silly. I'm chilly, which is uncommon for me because Paige and I were streaming in here last night, but we were playing a PS5 game. We were playing Shadow of the Colossus, which means the PS5 was on.
Heated up the room.
Which meant that we were like, oh, it's hot in here. So I was like, I'll just go turn off the heat. So then I turned off the heat, and then we'd finish the stream, and then I thought nothing of it. Well, today is much colder than it was fucking yesterday in general. So I came into the office. It's like fucking 12 degrees in here.
Huh.
Because I had the heat off.
Weird. You see,
because the PS5 tricked me.
Over here, I'm opening windows because we're getting too hot. But yeah, no, we're having the exact opposite. Shit's getting warmer. It's wild how a console can affect the the climate in the room it is in.
The PS5 is the most useful multi-purpose space heater I've ever used.
Wow.
It's crazy how much heat that thing puts out. Like I have a full-scale PC right next to it that is fan cooled. It's not like water cooled. Puts out half the heat at tops. Now, it's crazy.
But maybe would certain games cause it to, get that extra little, get a couple extra degrees out of it?
No, it's like, is it on? Like I had the console like overheat and shut itself off playing Astro Boy and Final Fantasy 16.
Wow. I have not seen anything like that, huh?
Yeah, I was streaming Astro Boy and I'm like, do, and then the PS5 said, fuck it, I'm out. And I'm like, I guess that's enough Astro Boy.
You got a decent ventilation system going?
Oh, Astro Bots. This shows how much I cared about that game.
I assumed you meant Astro Bots.
Yeah, no.
Yes. Not like the Game Boy Color game.
Like a coffee table, like with nothing around it. It's like fully exposed to the elements.
Okay. So yeah, there's I guess a bunch of things this week.
There's a uncommonly high amount of overlap today.
So we should probably get a move on with some of it.
Well, like, how do you feel about the nightmare that is a human-shaped homunculus named Ditto?
I love that Ditto is getting pushed. Because
I also love this.
Because this is something that's been hilarious and fun and kind of creepy for years now. And Pokemon has not leaned into it anywhere near as much as it could have. And I think that it's dope to see this happening here. The weirdness of the human-shaped, like, flopping around person pretending to be the trainer is great. I love everything about how weird it is.
There's so many little tiny details that they're doing like a pretty good job in like general shapes, but anything specific is like complete shit show.
Well,
like the hat is melting off because it's just goo. It's just more goo.
Jotaro style. And I would even say that they wanted to lean into the weirdness part, because the fact that when learning new moves, Ditto doesn't completely just transform and do the move.
I'm a half-ass it.
It comes out of the arms, and yeah, you get Vine Whip arms or like, water barf and all that stuff, and it's like, oh, you're doing the creepy thing that everyone draws the comics about, it's great. Love that.
And that weirdness also applies to Pocopia's like dialogue. Like I have not gotten that far into it, but like I had a Squirtle chasing around a Charmander who was like, bro, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
Like you keep spitting water everywhere and it's going to get on my tail and I'm fucking freaked out. Can you not do that, man?
I think overall, yeah, that a big part of the bit here is like having the Pokemon talk and you can understand what they're saying, and just hearing what the fuck they're up to or what their mannerisms are beyond just saying their name, without having to be like Meowth or a special exception,
Yeah,
Mewtwo.
And it's like, hey, did you know that these hyper specialized animals are fucking weird?
Did you know that Venusaur talks with an ara?
I did not. I did not know that.
Venusaur uses ara.
That's weird.
Yeah, think about that one for a minute. Let that stew, whatever that means.
How far did you get when you were playing Pocopia?
I had a moment of like almost sequence breaking because the moment I got the ability to punch the fucking walls open,
Right, you can go all
I
over.
just went all the way to the coast and found a Magikarp.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
that's actually like kind of what you're supposed to do.
oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I did. I just went all the way through, and
Did you hang out with Slowpoke?
no, I didn't know. I basically just found the Magikarp and came back around. I found just some of the beginner ones. Not much.
Yeah. So we're talking about Pokemon Pokopia for the Nintendo Switch 2, if you haven't picked up on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really thrilled that I played Stardew Valley like 2 weeks ago to completion, because it really, really helped me contextualize what the fuck Pokopia actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have the pieces I need to understand the entire like village simulator genre from tip to tip, because at the one tip you have Animal Crossing, which is like nearly exclusively character oriented.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I need this kind of shit in my house, I need this, and very little infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. On the flip side, on the absolute ass end of the world, you have stuff like Satisfactory and Factorio, in which the only character in that game is pavement and pipes
Right.
and machinery.
The social aspect is not a
It's
thing.
entirely
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this Pocopia lives on the like character side of that divide, but not as far as I thought, because I did discover pieces that will lead to future infrastructure.
I need your help to make this island better, but I also want to make you happy. And so you being satisfied is a part of the goal too. You're making friends, and your friends are helping you work, unlike just pal worlding it, which it almost feels like, hey, we gotta cleanse the fucking palette a little bit by having the labor that these Pokemon do be voluntary help, and you're also making their lives cozier.
Like, when did Pocopia start development?
The
'Cause it
moment
almost
the moment Pal World dropped.
because it feel no, it had
no,
to
no,
be in
no, no,
dev
no. It
for
was
longer
no.
than that.
I'm sure Stardew and all that were from.
But it
beforehand,
actually feels like, well, it's Dragon Quest Builders 3. Like that's an existing genre that Tecmo Koei makes that is literally this. It's just Dragon Quest instead of Pokemon.
Okay.
But it feels like the idea for this was like within the Pal World hype cycle of, we would like a wholesome working with your Pokemans.
If this came at you pre-Pat's Pastures, you might have hated it.
It did. It was announced
Before you started.
prior to Pat's Pastures.
Okay.
And I was like, who the fuck gives a shit about this fucking Pokemon thing you don't even fight?
And I was saying, yeah, because I was like, no, that looks interesting right away. And I like the part where like it seems like a post-apocalyptic setup, and the
I did like the Ditto gross part. I did like right away. I was like, oh yeah, Ditto's gross. I like it.
and so now with the context of just cozy, it all makes sense.
There are little bits and pieces that I can see actually will scale up, not into like large scale manufacturing, but like definitely more than nothing. Like, did Scyther do anything goofy for you in your playthrough?
Scyther, he helped me cut the wood up, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so like I need chopped lumber to make things. And hey, how do I get chopped lumber? I hand logs to Scyther. It's like, okay, I found a block that turns water flow on and off.
Okay.
In a channel.
Okay. Yeah.
And
oh yeah,
I
found that.
Yeah, you found that. That's right next to the Magikarp, right?
Yep.
So I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to talk about the thing that happens right after, where like literally 10 minutes later.
Spoilers, whatever, it's fine.
But I don't know.
It's fine. I
never know. So you need to make it rain for whatever reason, and the Tangle is like, bro, you need a fucking Slowpoke in here. Slowpokes can make it rain.
Tangrowth.
So okay.
I didn't even know there was an evolution.
Yeah, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go down, and you get the slowpoke, and the slowpoke comes out of the ocean right next to where you found the Magikarp, right? And you're like, "Hey, slowpoke, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey," and he talks like he's stoned, and he's fucking slow, and his
Mm-hmm.
dialogue takes forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
The sloth from
um,
Zootopia.
absolutely. And so the quest then becomes like, "Hey, you gotta get slowpoke to go talk to Tangrowth over at the busted Pokemon Center, right?" And you're like, "Hey, can you come with me?" And he's like, I really don't want to, but can you just water the ground between here and there so it's softer on my feet and build staircases the whole way there, please?
Okay.
And then in one of the
Okay.
loading screen tips, it says, "Hey, did you know that Pokemon move faster on paths that have been watered and restored?"
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So you get
Yes.
to building a road from the Poke Center to the
For
coast for
efficiency.
travel,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then you tell Slowpoke, "Hey man, I got it," and he goes, "Okay," and he takes like 10 to 15 minutes to walk that incredibly small distance,
Mm-hmm.
and like you can't make him go faster at all. So it's
Right.
like, okay, fine, fuck it. I guess I'll go put more decorations around Charizard's fucking patch of grass.
Now, I feel like there's a fine line where there's an upper limit on how tasks can be handled. I think I don't know what the end game looks like here, but I have to imagine you can only bring a task up to your Pokemon and ask them to do it wherever they are on the spot, and that they probably do not want any part of this game to be picking up that Pokemon and putting it here on a line
So
and having a task place where they're getting at it, right? Especially
in
when you've
order
got the
to
little
do the assembly
builders with the
line
fucking wood in their hands, or those dudes. The assembly
the
line is
timbers.
the assembly line is probably what they're trying to avoid imagery of.
So what's smart is that the default layout of the area, it makes it so that you need grass next to a tree to get a scyther, right? And you need a boulder with shade to get a timber.
Yeah.
So it just so happens the two perfect spots to do that are right next to the Poke Center, which is where you probably put your workbench down.
Yep.
So the two guys you get right away that are part of the manufacturing arm of your Pokemon settlement happen to end up sitting next to each other. But you can go further. Like, as long as you meet their needs and they're happy, yeah, you can move these bitches around to wherever. You could absolutely get a line of fucking trees and throw the grass
And
down and
create the
load it up with
conditions.
fucking
And
scythers and
they
cutters.
just happen to live there. They just happen to live
Yeah.
there. Yeah, right. Yeah, your
But
home is in
also,
a line.
Scyther is like
Okay.
efficient because you can give him as many logs as you want and he'll turn it into however many chopped woods that you
Okay,
want.
okay. But this needs to be like they need to be free range no matter what at the end of
Well,
the
you
day,
could. Well, you
right?
know what you could do. You know what you could do. You could build a
Physics.
house.
Oh,
No, you could spend the resources to build a house, and then you could make a row of houses, and then you could fill the interiors of the house with the things that they need and want, and that way you can place them wherever you would happen to like,
and their coziness can be maintained
and then
in
they
a
would
small
hang out
space.
right next to their house.
Yes. I see. I see.
You're basically making them just comfortable enough to not complain.
Yep.
And thus you have accidentally created the Pokemon middle class.
Oh, slash the surf state. Yes.
And like I got a little further where like I got a hoot and he started to complain like a lot because he happened to be next to all the other Pokemon. And his complaint wasn't that he was next to the others. His complaint is that Hoot likes a dark space. But my Charmander and my Charizard and my Venusaur and my Drifloon, they're all like, I want campfires and lights everywhere. So Hoot was
Mm.
miserable. So I just chucked him off into the cave where you start the game, right? But now that means that any Pokemon that likes darkness or caves or rocks is going to end up there. And so we'll have a secondary Pokemon settlement of the cave people.
Okay. I also got a combi, early. That was one of the ones that
Yeah,
popped up.
Combi just gives you a bunch of shit he finds on the fucking floor.
And that reminded me, I was like, oh yeah, like all Gen 1 jokes aside, there was a bunch of cool ones I enjoyed in like X and Y. Because
Yeah,
Vespiquen,
there's 300,
Ve-
so it's definitely more than Gen 1.
yeah, Vespiquen was on my final team in that. Yeah, besides like Zangoose and Chestnut
Mhm.
and Throw and Sock, you know. But no, yeah, it was a a little start like that was. I feel like the goal was implied to be rebuild the Pokemon Center, and then you get your full town looking vibe, right? At some
Yeah.
point, that's gonna be the
So like
ultimate final
after
bit.
after you get the Slowpoke there, like becomes this like very involved tutorial about raising the humidity of the area.
Oh,
And it's like
okay,
the humidity of the area is like, okay, uh, hit those sparkly rocks on the wall to get more water into the area. Make sure to route the water to the horsey statue that's in the back there, so
right,
there's more water.
right,
Bring the trees back to life. Plant more grass. You know, these kinds of things. You got to get this place humid. But at a certain point, the Charmander and Charizard are going to be like, "This sucks. Actually, it's too
it's
humid
too
in
humid.
here. I don't like it. I need somewhere drier."
So now we need to create different
So now we
spaces.
need to create the fire ghetto.
Yes, yes, yes. Right. We need the segregation of the types.
Yes. It's too wet in here.
It's yeah, natural
Um,
environments, of course.
and I got a little bit of a preview of where the game is going in like the very, very, very long thing. So if you feel like it, Wooly, as soon as you start the game and get the Rock Smash, you can go look at what the game's post-game content looks like.
Oh, just punch your way through
Um,
to it?
so you know, did you find Drifloon?
No.
So you know how if you're staring straight at the Poke Center, there's like a wall that you can punch through to your left.
Okay.
Right. If you go through there, there's a bridge that goes way off into the horizon. And in
Oh,
order to cross that bridge, you need to have Rock Punch to pick up blocks
and then
and then
build.
put blocks
Yeah.
down so that
Okay.
you can cross the bridge. And when you go to cross the bridge, it says, "Hey, you as a new player might definitely want more experience before you go to this location. Do you still
Okay.
want to go to this location?"
Okay. Okay. So
And I went, "Fuck yeah, I do."
and it's a different zone.
And you walk through, and the post game zone is Pallet Town,
Hey.
and it is like 4 times larger than the area you start in. Like
Cool.
from horizon to horizon, it's absolutely fucking enormous,
Okay.
and it is completely flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is like there's a mountain area in the middle, but it's like it's a giant flat space. It looks like a Minecraft map.
Okay.
And this is where, okay, do you have most of the decks? Do you have all the technology? Do you have everything you want to do? Build your fucking whole society however the fuck you want.
Ditto restart civilization.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like it's absolutely, it's wildly intimidating. And I wanted to check something, so I left and then went to go back in, and it still told me, "Hey man, this is for much later in the game. Are you sure?" So until you like beat the main quest, it's gonna be like, "Hey, maybe
You're not ready for this.
maybe
Yeah.
you should know what the fuck you're doing." And what was there was also multiple different Poke Centers that had been fallen into disrepair.
Right. I wonder if there will ever be any sort of hint or explanation, or do we just leave it to the imagination?
It's
The
probably going to be
fall of
some
man.
nonsense like the ending from one of the games took place and all humanity died or something like that.
Something. So, all humanity evolved, right? And joined up in the great big Pokeball light in the
Or
sky.
they reached enlightenment and they all became energy beings.
Yeah,
and flew
no,
off the
one
planet.
giant one giant Pokeball that looked like Rei Ayanami lit up, and
Yeah.
everyone turned into light and zapped into it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because humans and Pokemon we came from the same DNA origins.
But yeah, it is a good feeling, satisfying, good looking, charming, feature rich, good music. Like it's got a lot going for it. And on
Mhm.
top of that, Ditto's fucking weird and gross.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, it is funny jumping into that from just in contrast because I was playing another high octane game a
Oh,
little.
you were playing the
I was
baby trader.
Space Warlord baby trading simulator,
Bro,
and
I watched you play that for like 10 minutes and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on
yeah,
here. Like I was absolutely baffled.
so no, so but the difference in just like firing synapses is massive to the point where like you need to be in a cozy mood playing Pocopia. If I depending on the mood I'm in, I might be like sleepy, going through it. But for something that you can just pop on, do a little tinkering here and there, upkeep a little of this or a little of that, maybe go find a new one. And finding the Pokemon is fast and easy. It feels like they have
Well,
a very
I like loaded in my game save, like I streamed it, and then I just later that night, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna tidy up some of the
yeah.
spaces, and I loaded in, and there were like 3 Pokemon waiting in the tall grass because they were night Pokemon.
Okay, time of day, right, right, right. And that
Because Pokopia uses a real time clock.
yeah. Okay. And so ultimately that's another part of it too, where it's just like, oh, discovering a new one, like it happens so often and frequently that you're like, yeah, let me pop it in and go see what else is showing up, which is nice if there's 300 of them to get. So, yeah, pretty cool so far. Well done. It's one of those things that the only uh not complaint, but like the thing I have with it is I'm like, this should have existed years ago, right? We should like Pokopia should be a franchise on its third entry right now.
I actually totally agree. My blue sky character limit thoughts on Pokopia after I finished streaming it was I think that Pokopia uses Pokemon the brand better than Pokemon games because it's like you get to actually dive into the nitty gritty of the Pokemon
Yeah,
rather than them just being like move lists with a graphic.
and that's also what I liked about Concierge and this the Pokemon stuff where it just like it's almost like Discovery Channel, just like straight up focusing on them themselves and yeah, hanging out and the the what's the word whatever biodiversity or the flora and
Yeah.
fauna.
Like, did you get a move from Magikarp?
Yeah, yeah, splash or whatever, flop, and
Yeah,
it's like
so like Magikarp, this absolute dog shit loser motherfucker, gives you the ability to jump, and it's the best
it's great.
thing you could possibly get. It's an absolutely vital, mandatory part of your kit. It's part of your button
Magikarp
layout.
is worthless doing it, flopping around, and it's the whole tutorial is a joke. But then in the end, you're like, oh, it's literally a
Oh,
jump.
thank you,
It's a
Magikarp. You've given me
platforming
like
tool.
you finished my kit for me. I love you.
It was great. Yeah. So Pokopia solid so far. From just a little preview there. Um, uh,
Oh, it also very much follows like the Stardew. Like when I got to the Pokemon Center and they're like, you need to feed the Pokemon Center these materials. I was like, oh, okay, this is like the community center. And then I got the first like set. I did the first like cash in on the Pokemon Center. Do you know what the second set is?
mm,
The second set of items is you need to feed me 10 of each of these farmed crops.
oh,
The after
food.
and I like, oh, I have seeds. And it's like, no, you must till the soil
Yeah, yeah,
first.
okay. Actually, create society, and then the Poke
Yeah.
Center will return, and with it, Nurse Jenny will just be alive inside of it as it's built.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Nurse Joy is like a clone or some weird shit. Like the Jennies are sisters. I think the Joys are freaks.
Not human.
Not human.
Ditto
No.
all along. Oops, all ditto.
Oh, did you fall off a high place?
Not yet.
So when you fall off a high location, you don't take any fall damage, but when Ditto hits the fucking ground, they deform and go
Yeah.
and splat back into a regular Ditto.
When you're crawling into the water as well, same thing. Ditto just becomes Ditto, and then has to turn back
It's like
into human.
the game never allows you to forget that you are a human facsimile.
Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in your human form.
Like
Yeah.
you're not a person.
Every time you stare at your weird face and your eyes blinking. Um,
So I love the title the title screen in that game is made entirely out of photos that you have taken, because every photo I take in Pocopia is me doing a selfie with the horrible ditto face on,
mm,
just looking really unhappy, just like while I'm like photo bombing real Pokemon.
there's something kind of like kind of wild to imagining like humans discovering an island that is running as if people were there, but they're not, and it's just
Yeah, the
Pokemon.
Pokemon can just
Protect
do it themselves.
that. This is some fucking Yoko Taro shit, right? Like to come
Mhm.
years later and find an island where structures and electricity and buildings are functioning and not a human to be found is peak fucking near.
Yeah, we really weren't necessary at all, were we?
uh,
Oh, darn.
mm, mm. Um. Anyways, that was one of a couple different things. I guess I'll just I'll jump through some other games I was playing. I
Mhm.
mentioned Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator. That is straight forward to the point. You
What do
need
you do? I
you
can't
need
tell.
it is it is you need to invest. You need to buy low, sell high, and when you feel like life is about to take a shit on that baby, you short the fuck out of it.
So I watched you do a full baby,
Yeah,
and you were like you were clicking like, oh, do you want to know about the baby's health or
yeah,
like the baby's income?
yeah.
And then you watched the life events happen, and they discovered farming, and they started a farm. They got a co-op,
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
and it was rising, rising, rising. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And then they got shot by a security guard breaking into a building.
Yes,
And
yes.
then the stocks in that baby crashed. And
Absolutely.
you didn't hit any buttons, and then you came away with it having made money. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck what the game was. I don't know what I like.
It's because the deal is real simple, right? If you watch stock trading and you see the things go up and then shit happens and then it goes down, it's all nothing. It's all fake. It's all bullshit. And thus investing in the simulated lives of alien babies as they grow to like over 150 years old, mind you.
Oh yeah,
Um
I mean,
is all that's left in this the space warlord economy. And yeah, sometimes like they'll whatever, enlist in the army or marry for love and have all these things where their stocks are going up in that baby's life, but then they'll challenge like Monsanto Corp, or they'll get addicted to a substance and and start abusing it horribly and fall back, and then but they might go to rehab, and then up and then down, and it's real simple. If you buy low stocks and then the baby's life improves, then the stocks go up and then you can sell when it's higher and make some cash.
so is the goal to short the baby right before they get addicted to
Well,
drugs?
shorting, yes. So the mechanic of shorting, because this is essentially the deal. I mean, if you watch the GameStop era, if you watched the Apes Together Strong Deep Fucking Value GME Chronicles, right, the Robin Hood era, it's when you believe that the thing you're investing in is about to take a huge shit, when you think it's about to to drop off the face of the earth, right,
Yeah.
and you are essentially buying a promise at the price that the thing is currently at, and locking that in for a period of time. And if that shit goes way, way, way lower, then you make out huge. But the problem with that is if you are you don't have to actually have any money in your hand. You can just completely you can lose infinite money or you can gain infinite money. Whereas buying a stock, usually you're like, well, I'm spending the thing I'm holding
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get that, but the infinite potential of highs or lows, depending on how bad it gets or how great it gets, is maximum profits. Therefore, you want the baby's life to get as horrible as possible to watch your gains, watch your
oh.
better margins, better
How much effect do you
leverage.
have on this?
Almost
Can you
none.
nudge it in any direction?
No, you cannot nudge at all, and that is what makes it so difficult, right? What you can do is use you have basically like alien psionic researchers that can give you a portfolio on what they think the baby's life is going to be like. And sometimes it's low accuracy for how long they're going to live, or sometimes it's
Yeah.
high accuracy for what the floor price is going to be on them. And the consultants will basically give you a range that you can go, hey, for 8% of the profit you make, I'll tell you what the life expectancy is of this baby, And then you go, okay, sure, I'll take that. And then right before the time is up when to get the fuck out. Because if you are expecting the baby to make it 150 to 170 years, and then they start fucking joining a terrorist organization, right? Then you're like, uh-oh, you see the heartbeat starts getting more rapid, and you're like, I don't know if this one's gonna make it, And if you obviously are caught holding the bag when the contract expires, the contract being the baby, then you lose all your money. So that's bad.
Wooly, this sounds like gambling, but it's not gambling, right?
Well, hold on. I'm not in a casino.
It's the stock market.
No one's buying me drinks. There's no chips in my hands. What are you talking about?
Okay, my mistake.
This is real economy. This is real business.
That's right. It's
all right?
Economics.
And we're bullish. We believe. No. We believe this is going down. You and your bear mentality can get the fuck out of here. I'm not fucking leaving. I'm tapping that bull balls, and we're we're tripling down. And so what it turns out, right? So the thing is, I was approaching it approaching it like real stocks, where you're just like, I don't know, maybe now.
Yeah,
that seems to be a bad event, so maybe now. And it turns out that's not actually what you ought to be doing. I played it a little bit more afterwards for myself, and there is gameplay. And there is gameplay, and the gameplay when I streamed it was not. I kind of discovered it a little bit, but
look at the Steam page for this.
Playing it a bit for myself more afterwards, I discovered that the gameplay is actually a lot of reacting to the event the moment it happens and instantly buying in or selling out on the just frame, right? So if the text pops up that says something catastrophic has happened in the baby's life, within the frame it pops up, if you can react quickly and hit that short button, you can maximize, There is reaction time to this, which which was not a part of what I expected, because real stock market, I mean, you can try to react, but oftentimes everybody's reacting with their.
Well, that's why, Wooly, you would get a robot.
You get a robot
that can react faster than you to do it for you.
Yes, you set your
or you would call your friend who works adjacent to the industry and be like, "What's up?"
Now, of course, if you don't have if you don't have the threshold for volatility, if risk is too much, then you can set your upper and lower limits so that when you automatically hit an upper point, it'll just sell out. Or if you automatically you can hit triggers, you can hit floors and triggers on the way up and on the way down.
Now you're investing.
Yeah, right. So you can put in a stop order that says, all right, I don't care what's happening. If it goes lower than this, get me the fuck out. So you can use the robots to absolutely control and tighten the situation up. But in the video game, what I discovered after streaming was just frame reactions is actually how you are meant to win and how you are meant to play. And the faster you can read whether it was a good event or a bad event and go, the better you do. And then, of course, when things go horribly wrong, you got a loan shark that can, at risk of your life, that can loan you some money to dig you out of a hole. And the great thing is that, like, you're not just playing as yourself, but you're playing as the investors at the terminal that they're investing in. They're all different characters with different lives that are horribly fucking just the most ultra liberal nightmare, right? One motherfucker is a ghost that is already dead and their life is tethered, and they're like, now that I'm dead, I finally am free to play the stocks the way I want to without this mortal coil being in the way, you know? Like it's crazy, you know? And I mean, even when you do like the first character, it's like you do well, and like the ending paragraph of like their successful run is as the lights blink as the police are pulling you away, you look back at the size of the boat you got and feel a sense of joy before you get shoved in the back of the wagon. You
That's
know?
good.
And the size of the boat you got is like that's your ending. Is like how good do you feel about the boat you got as you're being
Man.
arrested 100% of the time.
Oh, I'm looking at this loan shark guy. He's like a T-Rex, and it says debt bailout and 10 grand. However, but next time he gets to kill you.
Yes. Yes. And when he does, you get a nice big prompt that says legally murdered. You know, so that's hilarious and such. But I bring this all to you with a fair warning. While I
Yeah.
was playing the game,
I texted you about this.
it crashed. And when it crashed and I booted it back up, the save file was corrupted and it did not allow me to continue playing the game. When I went to click continue, it just kicked me back to the main menu. And when I clicked, like, there was no new game. You were just stuck. So the game completely just stopped working. That like the A class fucking, you know, unship it level failure. And I was able to solve it by going to the save finding the save folder and deleting the actual save and you know, doing it that way. And I'm just reminded how it's so annoying that like Steam games, because everything's all over the place, saving is not universal, whereas on consoles
No,
it
it's actually
is.
quite complicated.
Right? Some saves are in your documents, some saves are in your app data folder, some saves are in the game Steam apps folder. Whatever the fuck they want to do, they do.
Some games are in Steam apps folder in documents, but they're all labeled by number and they're actually attached to the Steam cloud save cache. So if you want to delete the saves, you actually have to load the game online, then go offline, then delete the saves,
Exactly.
then go back online so that and make a new save.
Because God forbid you start up the new save after deleting the files and then it updates with the cloud and then you lose what you just did, right? It's horrendous, it's dog shit, it's awful, it's completely not user friendly. And consoles have this over Steam by fucking leaps and bounds and miles. Like when you go manage your save data on any system,
Here's my saves.
that's the game. There's the save. There's the date that it updated. Upload or not. Delete, whatever. And simple save data management is just something that after all this time, PC Steam still can't fucking figure out.
It would be really nice if games if there was a like, hey, come on, can you save games in the fucking folder that the fucking game is in?
Yeah,
please.
Like you still have to jump through hoops to figure out exactly what save your thing is, because let's say you have more than one. Some games have saves that are options. Some games have multiple save files that are like each slot is a different one. You never know, right? Again, it's handled differently. So you still have to go digging for the right file. But if it at least universalized the save data location, it wouldn't be as bad. But it's fucking awful. So in the end, I managed to do that. And then I ran it back and then it worked and it was okay. But that is absolutely fair grounds to refund that game. If anyone, like, I'm like, I am willing to anti-recommend this if you can run into a situation where the game crashes. And then if you're not willing, because I'm willing to go deal with the files and bullshit, but if you're not, then your game just stops working. And
every time I have to find a save file, I literally go to the PC Gaming Wiki.
Yeah.
Because it's faster than looking around for it.
Yeah, or you run into the fucking discussion forums, you know. And it's not something where uninstalling and reinstalling the game makes a difference, because your save file is not connected to that. You uninstall the game, you reinstall it, the cloud re-downloads your save, and it's still corrupted, and the game still doesn't work. So even a clean wipe does not fix the situation. So Space
That
Warlord.
sounds like you had fun with that.
Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator was a whole lot of fun, and then it wasn't. Kind of like day trading.
Kind of like.
Yeah, it truly. In fact, and the fact that the game stopped working for a while, it's almost like they took the shirt off my back. You know, the true Wall Street experience. We are not all gonna
A
make it.
congressional hearing has been held. You may not day trade until the saves are rectified.
I did. Reggie was asking though. He's like, "Is there any accounts that we can follow though to like simplify this baby trading?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, Space Pelosi can fucking you follow that and your shit's through the roof. You don't even have to make decisions anymore, really." Anyway,
How do they know?
I think just being in Washington gives you just an intuition.
Space Washington, Willie.
Space Washington. Being in space.
You gotta keep the gimmick consistent.
Yes, of course. Well, what else are we talking about? What, Earth? Earth doesn't exist anymore. Of course, we're talking about Washington, Orion's belt.
Thank you.
And yeah, being out there just gives you an intuition for the way that the market fluctuates. It's simple. That was Baby Trading Simulator. And I mean,
playing those two games back to back must have been some fucking whiplash.
The whiplash is insane. And like the newscaster that's talking about how the market is crashing and how baby trading is the only thing left, that he's getting off the table to fucking scream at the TV about why you need to short the babies and how regulations ruined everything.
Of course it has, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, good times there. Good times. Okay, so a couple other things this week. So I had a time popping in Neo 3.
That game is really good, and when my son goes to school, I'll finally play the rest of it.
It's great. It is really nice.
Really good.
Yeah, it's really nice to feel just the end wave of the quality of life that's been occurring for probably a decade now.
The menus just go and go and go.
But also, you will find yourself drowning in the subsystems.
Yeah.
And this is what it is to come to later to a Neo game, to find yourself at the life cycle that the previous two have went through.
I finally get what people are talking about when they're like, don't worry about this, and that until later. Because like there are like, for example, Neo 3 has the randomized loot, right? And it's like, and now that it will allow me to auto equip shit based on like defense,
yes,
I can finally see what they're talking about. And what it is a 1 or 2% difference in my light attack stamina use doesn't mean shit compared to 5 more defense.
Yeah. And if you don't care about like dealing, because Souls game, you pick up some armor after you getting through an area, and it's like you randomly drops and you go, oh shit, and it's a big deal to suddenly have your whole look be different and then have this massive change in your stat or whatever the case is,
Yeah.
But in this, you're just fucking grabbing purple, pink, fucking blue, whatever, all the different rarities, and as you're
purple's good. That's what it means.
And as you're grabbing it, like, the fact that it comes flying out of the corpse and you're just mashing the button, it's like, okay, you can make an option to just automatically have that fly into you. And then
you wish I did.
Yeah, and then when you go to your equipment, you pick what role do you want. We'll give you the best in slot for the role you're looking for. Do you want your equip load at medium? Okay, B or higher.
Yeah, so what I did is I had it automatically fly into my character, and then I had it automatically set to B roll for samurai, A roll for ninja, right? And then I set up an option that's pretty deep in there. You probably didn't even see it yet, which is I want you to just fucking dismantle every single white rarity item in the game the instant you hit a fucking shrine.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
I will never, because you play it for a couple hours and then you're like, oh, I'm never equipping a fucking white item ever again.
Yeah. And I can imagine the final layer of this is And at the end of whatever background calculations you're doing automatically, put this glamour on and never change it.
That yes, that is exactly it.
Right? So you're like, I have my look.
And the glamour unlocks are, did you even pick the fucking item up at all?
Yeah. Like you have your glamored final look, and then you're just eating stat changes as you play the game.
So now people will say, and they're correct, that the games have had multiple of these features in the past, and they totally have. But the one that ties it all together is just fucking put me at medium roll now. That means I went from playing Neo 2, where I was doing like 10 minutes of inventory management after each level, to fucking nothing at all outside of me doing the first big mega dungeon and going, some of these demon weapons have unique moves on them. I will put this one on because I want to learn the unique move.
Yeah, right. But not even talking about the familiarity, but you then get into the whole, like, exactly setting the slots of each move what you want it to be. And then on top of that, the fact that I can go in and be like, you know what, I'm hitting this crucible, and I'm hitting it a little under level because
the crucible,
I'm crushing this.
The crucible. That's how you say it.
I'm hitting this crush a little bit under leveled because I'm LPing and I'm trying to move things forward, right? So what I probably would have done was on my own time was run around the first area and, like, you know, see what every corner had and clean it up before we hit this. But in this case, I didn't do that. So I'm going in and I'm getting one combo fucking wiped out by the bigger enemies. Okay, well, I'm stuck in here for now, so fair enough. Thankfully, at each one of these bonfires, the respec is free.
Instantly free.
So,
not like free with an item, like hit
literally
the fucking L3 button.
That's it. So I'm like, yeah, never mind. Actually, I'm gonna pull my points out of strength and put it into dex so I can hit harder with my into skill, so I can hit harder with my Kusarigama, and then that'll help me push past some of these harder enemies. You know, just change your build on the fly between bonfires as needed, with no drama associated, for maximum fun. And it's like the characters, the challenges, the bosses, the movesets, that's all, it's going to be hard enough. You're going to be challenged by the shit you're coming up against, you know? Like, they're going to rock you, they're going to exhaust you, you're going to get your stamina broken, and you're going to get ripped in half. So, like, yeah, make your build, use your points to the best of your ability. And if you also want to, press R3 to get your soul gems out of your pocket and add just the amount you need to get the next level.
To get to one level up.
Phenomenal stuff. So Neo 3 is really just feels smooth through all of that. And
every edge sanded.
And I haven't even seen what it's like to get back, because I don't even know if a blacksmith is still a thing in this game or not.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm assuming so, because, yeah, there's a whole lot of blacksmith shitting that you do.
So the primary use of the blacksmith is to fully smooth out a part of the game that you don't even really realize at the point you're at to smooth out. And that is,
sets.
I would like to use a Kusarigama. I have not gotten a pretty good Kusarigama in a while. I'm going to feed the parts of all this bullshit I picked up into the blacksmith, and they will use the recipe to make the best Kusarigama I have. I will now have a leveled blue or whatever appropriate Kusarigama that will carry me until I get the next one off of a drop.
Phenomenal stuff. And as somebody who hates dealing with percentages below 10 in anything,
I think 10's the minimum.
Yeah.
I think 10 is the absolute
single
minimum.
digit percentages. I hate dealing with them.
I want the lowest percentage I see to be 30.
That's
like,
it. I'm telling you, like, and I'm most willing to forgive it when we're talking about crit, because crits are crazy. But most things, when you're telling me that I get a 2 to 7%, fuck off with that, right? So, as someone who doesn't give a shit about any of that and will just completely ignore it, and who wants to just use the moveset against the enemies and enjoy the combat for what it is, it's nice that this is here, it's background, and it's as engaging or as limited as you want it to be. the knowing that the strength of these games can be either the person who is struggling through but has an amazing set that can just let them eat hits and fuck up and drink and get back in there, and you've got the ammo to bow and arrow everyone from a distance, and like you just don't engage because you've systemed it the encounter down, or to get in there and then use your perfect pulsing and perfect ninja parries and perfect dodging to cleanly fight through. You can take that approach as well, and like I'm obviously like I like that part, so automate the rest, please.
I think one of the complaints people had is that they had weapons that like Kusarigama, and they're like, oh no, Kusarigama is a ninja weapon now. That means I lose like half the stance moves, right? The ninja shit has so much going on with it that I don't miss the stances. And also there's now like a shit ton of weapons.
I mean, I bought the high and low stance, for samurai mode, but I spent most of my time in ninja mode. The ability,
ninja mode's very good.
It's so much. Yeah, one, you're staying higher on stamina, right? It's more efficient. Two, you've got the recovery.
You're faster.
You've got better defensive options for dodging, for rolling out. And then in the Kusarigama's case, it was the tech move that used your meter was a front flip that like damages that and crosses up the enemy, and then you end in an air combo state, behind them. So I'm like, oh, that's phenomenal for a big boss wind up. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I'm spending the meter to get through you.
I have this is a very, very aside, but like tons of games have crit, and like certain games like hitting 100% crit is just like, oh my god, I did it, right? Like, somebody in the chat said a 4% crit chance in like Hades 2 can like win you the game, right? And I'm reminded of my favorite crit system of any game I've ever played, and it's Warframe. So in Warframe, crit goes from 0 to 100%. And if you get 100%, you get a yellow crit, which does more damage than the normal hit. But if you get the crit from up to 200%, you can get an orange crit. And if you get it to 300% crit, you get a red crit. And at 4%, you get a red crit that has a bigger number and an exclamation point. And then at 400%, it has 2 exclamation points. And then at 600%, it's 3 exclamation points. And it's like, listen, because that you can get like 100% crit within like an hour of playing the game. So fuck it. It'll just scale. It'll just scale infinitely.
And the
how much do you want?
And the text just grows.
The text grows and it gets more exclamation points.
Amazing.
The game does that with status too, where it's like, do you have 900% status? We're just going to start stacking the status multiplicatively on the enemy simultaneously.
Hell yeah. One of my favorite crit things recently was I had a cat in Mugenics that had the ability to it had an overpower ability, so it had like what was it, increased chance of crit. I put some items on that basically made it like more or less guaranteed as long as it attacked in a straight line. It had like horse blinders on. It had a ability that made it stupid. It took intelligence points off its stats and put all those points into strength. So every less point of brain went into more strong punch. And then it had an ability that was every point over kill that you kill something with,
every overkill point,
it causes an explosion of the corpse to damage everything around you according to the overkill points.
Oh, that's a good one.
So you kill a fly with 70 damage on a single punch, and 69 of that damage is exploding into the surrounding enemies. It was so fucking cool. Phenomenal stuff. So yeah, good crit feels good. All this to say, Neo's great, and whatever the fuck is happening with the story and the Tokungawas and
I'm actually gonna call that a big like. I'm gonna say, and I know a lot of people who love Tecmo Koei and Omega Force will shit on me for it. I have played a fair amount of Tecmo Koei Omega Force games, and they have a really hard time making their stories like interesting because they have limited themselves to like a batch of years or even fantasy years that is so strict. Like there is like a
Hey,
100
man.
year period in Japanese history that they have put like 50
Listen.
fucking games.
Okay, so there's a bunch of states. You see these states? Guess what? They're warring.
They're warring.
They're warring.
Oh man.
All right. You know?
Now what's funny is that, as somebody points out, Omega Force made Pokopia, but that's the Dragon Quest Builders guys. I've played Tokiden and some of the Dynasty Warriors, and you've played the fucking Zelda Warriors, and like it's the fucking John Romero pornography story analogy for video games. It's like that guy is there because he's a cool historical guy with a stag helmet, and then later you can fight him as a boss because that's cool.
I mean, the commitment to even telling a human Japanese like nation origin story is like, at this point you could just go full demon Armageddon like plot. You know, it doesn't have to be at all related to you know,
like
Nobunaga or
finished,
Tokugawa or any of the three.
I finished like my second, I think it was a demo stream of Neo 3, and was asking people who had played more of the demo, and then I played way more of the game. I'm like, why did I travel back in time? Like, why did that happen? Because your character doesn't speak or ask anyone about it, and the cat that goes with you just goes, huh, weird. And like, that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like all I could think of was like cause it's cool.
I don't know.
Go different time periods.
All I know is that you got your little fuzzy animal buddies, your spirit stand furry creatures, and they are from another realm, but they're heavily invested in Japanese politics.
They're big on it.
They're super invested. They're dedicating their lives to the outcomes of who's gonna take over and be this first shogun. Anyway, it's all whatevs, but you know, as long as you see Hattori Hanzo doing cool shit, I'm like, hey, there he is. That cool that fucker does Azuna drops.
And
he
then you
rules.
meet his grandpa and you think it's a different guy, but it is a different guy. And then you meet your own grandpa and you're the little cat's like, that's your grandpa. And I'm like, who?
But I'm black.
No, listen, that's your grandpa.
It's fine. It's fine.
It is fine.
Anyway, yeah, Neo 3 fucking solid shit.
Yeah, it kicks ass. It's a good ass video game to fucking play. I only had one real like actual complaint, which is I'm a map scraper. I like to scrape the map. And the game like really strongly incentivizes it by like if you scrape the map a little, it gives you like the points to go scrape more. And then it goes, no, okay, now here's the couple of things you missed. Right. And so I scraped the map, and and that's all I had done. So fucking over leveled. Like full 15 fucking levels above any new zone. Like I'm level 40 something, and the next story zone is 20.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah.
Like it's extreme.
For me, my only complaint, and it's not like a generalized one, it's just a personal thing, is I don't need that much small little consumable futzing under the engine.
Oh, dude, I haven't used a single one.
I don't need like under the hood. There, you know, the amount of things, because you've got your Omnio magic and you've got your yin and yang placement.
The rechargeable Omnio magic.
You've got your soul cores, and then you know you've got in addition. And then you pick your animal, and then your animal is also your DT, and like that's
they just never remove a system.
It's just
that, like it's all just it's all just legacy grandpa systems.
It's crazy. It's insane. Yeah, you feel like it does feel like a mobile game, you know, menu. Is running underneath your Souls character.
You want to talk about using the whole Buffalo and grandpa systems? So the other thing about Neo 3, and I'm not gonna even call it a complaint because I think they're doing what they need to be doing, is the setting is the setting, and the setting does take place in a facsimile of a time in a real place, which means that Neo 3 levels sure do look a lot like certain Neo 2 levels, which sure look a lot like certain Neo 1 levels.
Zipangu.
So in the bottom left corner of the first map, which there are 4, I think. There's so that open world you're seeing is like 1/4. There's a cave, and I'm going through the cave, and I'm like, wow, this reminds me a lot of that cave from Neo 1 and that cave from Neo 2. Like a lot, like architecturally, gameplay wise, color palette, etc. And then I got to the end of the cave, and I fought the fucking Batgirl from the cave in Neo 1
with the Psycho Crusher. Yeah,
and it's literally the exact same fight.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm like, they are no fucking, like, From Software will like fucking throw a different like model on it, but keep all the animation rigging, like the tree spirit shit. Here it's like, nah, fuck it. It's Hino Enma. It's the Batgirl. Just she doesn't have a cutscene.
Okay, so at some point, I look forward to the fight on a boat with a giant demon in the docks level that surely will be in Neo 3, wherever that is. But yeah, that's fine. You know, I got no issue with that. I am curious to see if, like, you know, after all this time and quality, wherever the fuck the end of this game's life cycle of quality of life ends up being,
there's 2 DLCs coming.
But do we?
Those are probably going to be open world maps.
I wonder if
that's probably going to be sick.
just to run around. Yeah, it is kind of crazy to just have a giant thing and not like these linear, not even linear, but smaller dungeon levels, right? Because it used to be essentially legacy dungeons where each area, and now
now this has legacy dungeons. There are, like, you go to it, like, there's a little island in the on the west side of the map that it's like, it's got a special gimmick and it's a self-contained little zone. It's got that legacy dungeon feel, but they are smaller. But then there's the Crucible.
I wonder if we're gonna see at some point, just because this is how things happen, Neo 4, William's return.
William was in too.
The Engine Man. What's he up to? What's going on? I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. But I feel like, you know, like, yeah, you've had your fun with your creative character.
It's so
return
fucking weird
to the engine.
Neo 1 is the only character that your main guy speaks. And so, like, that game has way more character than its sequels. Because William's a guy.
Yeah.
Like, Wooly,
what that white boy doing? What's he up to? The
single most interesting level in comparison of all the Neo games that I have seen, anyway, is the first level of Neo 1, where you're breaking out of the Tower of London and all the weapons are like British arms and armor.
And the armor is British. Yes. And you put that shit in your box.
That's super weird.
And everything that
compared to the Zipangu.
And everything that you pick up in the London area, you put in your box and you pull it out when you're in Zipangu, and then you fight like a Britman Souls character across your Japan game, just in case you needed British armor. Yeah. In any case, so Neo 3 is great.
The other thing about how big the game is, and if it's easier if you scrape it, it also has massive the game starts on new game plus energy.
Okay.
It's actually secretly Diablo. It's not a Souls game. It uses Souls controls, but it's actually Diablo, where you're beating the game and then you're running it on Nightmare, then Inferno 2, then Inferno 3, then Double Nightmare.
Well, I'm curious, like, is there in the arms race between difficulties and builds, you know, can you get to the point of one swing, one shot, a boss?
Don't know.
You know, does that
I know Strangers of Paradise you could.
Because I'm like, does that exist in Neo? I know it exists in other games. I don't know if Neo can get to that point, you know? It can?
I'm going to guess it does, and then you go up difficulty, and you're like, we expected you to walk in here with that build. Here's some new shit.
We have noticed you've one shot all the bosses, so a new dynamic difficulty has been
Yeah, no,
prepared for you.
like Neo has New Game Plus existing as an arms race of its own mechanical systems.
Okay, the bosses now have infinite life. However,
Yeah.
if you kill them fast enough, then they'll
The
die.
regen doesn't kick in.
Yeah. All right. So that's good. That's good. Also this week I took a look on my own time at Slay the Spire 2.
Yeah, I also played Slay the Spire 2.
Okay.
It's good.
It's good. It's good. It's Slay the Spire 1 but prettier.
So I was playing it and I was like, because I've only played a little bit of Slay the Spire 1, right? And I was like, I'm liking this a lot more, but I legitimately could not tell you what is actually different.
Interesting. It really just feels like a prettier, shinier version of the first game. The models have, some nicer animation going on, and that's about it. Like, and what I'll say is I enjoyed the first one, so it was very enjoyable. Oh, there's a co-op mode? Okay, I haven't really checked that out.
Yeah, it's got 4-player co-op, which I will never play.
Okay. And yeah,
it does have new characters.
The timeline stuff that unlocks and as you do events and stuff is like a cool little progression thing.
I really like how so many of those photos are like a child's crayon drawings because they're made in paint, like as placeholder. I love it.
But what I guess I'll say is like I was hoping that the sequel game with all its success would like add a bit more animation, to things.
So I actually have an answer for that. One of the reasons some of these games decide to go with a specifically like not low fidelity, but a simpler art style is so that it is easier for people to make mods that integrate into that art style.
Right. And
it's also easier to just make more shit.
Exactly. You add cards, right? And the game is totally fine without any of that. I mean, of course, it's just a thought of like, well, we know the project was super successful, so the hope would just be like a little bit of extra flair on that, because it is true that like, sometimes in fights you'll get things like a special like a familiar will show up next to you, or your floating sword, or all these little things that like modify the actual fight. But it's really nice when you're playing like another similar type of game. Let's say Darkest Dungeon, right?
Yeah.
Where each thing you're doing, you have a nice big like impact to it. There's a cool visual associated with the stuff, and with the cards, there's a lot of different cards, so it would get hard to juggle all that.
I don't know if I actually want there to be a different animation that matches to each card and what it says it does. But I do know that I'm looking at my own stream of the Ironclad. I would prefer more than the one swinging animation.
Yeah, I would love
early access.
Yeah, but to be faithful to the first game, that's how it was too, right? Like it was just one base. Like the animations were nothing. It was just the cards you're playing with the animations. It's a card game, and then there's a visual backdrop that has a little bit of representation of what the cards are doing. But I would love if the cards you played resulted in those attacks actually having an associated visual with them,
or even like just slightly more, right?
Yes.
I know that Silent has 2 animations for their attacks, but like Regent has 1.
You're sitting on the chair, and
I was like, I could go with maybe like just different sparkle, or like maybe some effect coming off the card.
And I would never think of this the first time I'm playing that first game, because I'm like, well, this is a brand new thing doing, I don't know, it doesn't know how big it's going to be, how successful, but this time around with time and budget and planning and stuff, I kind of am just like, more sauce, a little more sauce.
Well,
please.
I'm like, I mean, right now when I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, maybe if If it does okay, if Slay the Spire 2 does okay, which according to early numbers, it is one of the most successful games of all time. Maybe they will have time during the early access
Okay.
period
Okay.
to add a little bit more juice.
And you know what? I will even say, like, if it's too much to create these unique animations per card, per character, and such, even just letting the card itself do the thing, you
So
know?
that's kind of a trick that like a lot of the collectible card games like Runeterra and Hearthstone do. So like let's say Ironclad Whirlwind, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's an effect where the character stabs 5 times, and then there's an effect on the screen where there's like wind
Winds.
going. Like you could have the card physically spin.
And the whirlwind comes, or lava shoots out of the card. Like, let the card
Yeah.
do the thing. If the card is the blade, and I have that could be a super cool, elegant way to put the work on the card and not all into the character. But the point is that that's the only thing is like, I'm enjoying this, but it does feel like more sauce would be really cool and make it more enjoyable. Because
Now, that being said, I am enjoying it more than I did Slay the Spire 1 right away. And I played Slay the Spire 1 when it was done compared to this, which is an early access. And I don't know why. I think the cards are snappier. And I think I'm better at card games than I was a couple of years ago.
I think the pastures like style thing, I think you've exposed yourself and learned a bit more, and perhaps this time around it makes more sense.
Well, because when I played Slay the Spire 1 the first time, I picked up every single card that was available, and then my decks became unplayable piles of shit. And then people were like, "No, Pat, don't pick up every card." So then I did multiple runs in which I picked up 0 cards and failed. I'm like, I don't understand.
And this is where we first had the conversation about deleting cards being good.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't get it. And then we kind of went over the idea of predictability and, trimming the fat.
Yeah, and then now I'm like, oh, I want to get cards that set me up, and I just want to avoid cards that don't feed into whatever setup I'm going for.
That's exactly it. However, it costs money to delete cards, so it's not an easy thing to do. You have to spend money to trim or to add, You can do a build that involves just adding to your deck and get good cards enough to make it through and win, by the way. Like, you don't actually have to cut cards.
Like here's the problem, and I discovered this when I played Runeterra. I like mill decks. Like I like decks.
That's a term for just adding and adding and adding.
A mill deck is you're milling through your deck, and that you are just adding just a fucking million fucking cards.
Okay.
To your deck.
Okay.
Fucking love it. I love adding a million cards to my deck, in specifically my hand. So like there's when I was playing Regent, there was I accidentally stumbled upon not Regent. The Silent. I stumbled upon that's not what mill is. Oh, I guess I'm stupid. I stumbled on a fill your fucking hand with cards build.
Oh yeah. Draw
where I upgrade my
draw
shivs.
6 cards off of 1 card.
No, it wasn't even that. It was like you upgrade your shivs, and then I got the ability that was turn every card in your hand into a shiv.
Oh yeah, okay, exactly. Yeah, I have. The other character I forgot was like I had a card that's like turn every card into a rock, right? And then upgrade the rocks so that it's rock.
Oh yeah.
So that it's rocks plus. And now I've just got like fucking 22, problem solved.
Oh, mill is to toss into graveyard. I actually also like that.
Okay.
Because that's the deep deck from Runeterra.
Sure.
So I guess I do like mill decks.
Or you can go for heavy exhaust, where you're like, you've got a card that's you exhaust as much as possible, and then you've got a card that's going to benefit from as much exhausted cards you have, And even that is decent because you're like, okay, well, it's gone for the rotation of the rest of the battle.
Yeah.
So you're ultimately trimming the fat that way too,
Yeah, there was a set of conditions I saw with Silent where it was like throw a card away when you use this. I'm like, why the fuck would I ever want to throw away a card? And then I started to see cards that were like, play this card for fucking free if you throw it away. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
Or it plays itself from the exhaust pile once you've played it, The thing that Slay the Spire though has that, and the second game does, that is like surprisingly weird about it is it's a very quiet game without much, not even just the sauce part now. Like, the overall fanfare is
Yeah,
very,
it's very ambiance.
yeah, you have a map, you click the map, the fight starts, you play your cards, you beat the monster, you go back to the map.
It's not very
And
bombastic. It's made for just fucking running more
yeah,
fucking
you
sets.
know, and I mean, there's games that are made for running. You can fucking roll through doors and shoot shit and fucking enter the gungeon and a bunch of these these indie games, you know, and stuff at the time. But yeah, it's just like very much like, all right, we quietly move up this map. We beat the big thing, and the big thing kind of dies quietly too, and then we move to the next, and it's a very restrained game, you know. But all that said, cards are fun. So, you know, the cards are the high priority here, and it's again, I have not seen enough to see like the newest parts of it, because so far early on, unlocking, you know, the previous characters and playing similar builds to before, it does just feel like a shinier version of one. I'm waiting
I
to
really
see
like the new
mechanically what's different.
characters. I really like the two new characters.
Mm.
Regent is a ton of fun, and I like a secondary mechanic, but also the Necrobinder and Ostie. Did you play a run with her?
What did I get? I got.
She's the fourth character. She a skeleton.
Unlocked her. I didn't do a run yet.
Okay, so Necrobinder's mechanic is that you always start with Ostie, the hand, the bone hand,
Okay.
as a second character on your screen, and Ostie starts with 1 HP.
Okay.
And Ostie will always take damage first.
Oh, interesting.
And her special tag is summon, and it's summon and then a number, and any summon that you add will add to Ostie's HP, and Ostie will also gain an HP every turn, and Ostie's attack cards scale with their HP.
So he's your block. He's your defense.
He's your attack and defense.
Yeah, okay.
And so if you put block on you, the damage goes through your block first and then hits Ostie and then hits you.
Okay. Okay.
So you're just building up like this big fucking summon that takes all your hits for you. And so I had a build where like I had Ostie attacks that scaled with Ostie's HP after I buffed him up, but then he had a bunch of 0 card attacks, and then he had attacks that were free if Ostie had already attacked that round.
Yeah, 0 cost. Let's go. Love that shit. Mm-hmm.
And it was awesome. It's fucking super cool.
It's interesting to see the sequel that like kind of goes so safe by the what was there before.
Yeah, this is a sequel. This is a invalidation sequel.
Yeah, this is a Tekken. This is a replacing the previous entry. Whereas I just mentioned Darkest Dungeon, but there's a game where you're like, oh, this is a different video game for the sequel. You know, we're changing up the formula entirely, and you know, whether you like it or not, like you are not playing the same game here. And yeah, I think you can always find a happy medium or a place to explore new ideas. But in any case, I enjoyed it, and I think I'll, you know, click back every now and then.
Oh, same here, yeah.
But it's a quiet little, quick little run, you know. I know, and
it's very clean.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes. Off stream as well, I also.
Sorry. Oh, just one last thing. I am a bit annoyed that the game's main, like, huge, like, oh my god feature is something that I just don't give a shit about at all. Like, I'm not the biggest co-op person in general.
Oh.
But like a card game is something for me to play at 1:30 in the morning before I go to bed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
That's like, not a feature I'm gonna give a fuck about. Absolutely. So yeah, there was that. Something else I played off stream as well was the motherfucker. I'll get to my week. Relax.
Yeah. No, we're gonna get through these, and then we got to take a break because I got to feed this dog, and then we'll get to your real week, and then I have my slop discussion.
I played a bit of Vampire Crawlers, the demo.
Yeah.
Did you played that?
I did. Yeah, I talked to you about it last week.
Yeah, we went. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you move the fucking camera.
Yeah. I was
Now that I've had more time to think about it, I don't like it as much as Vampire Survivors.
I was bored.
But I
Okay,
didn't get far enough in.
I was bored.
Yeah.
I have to be real. I played it.
Yeah.
I went through. I was bored. I found
Mm.
the pacing of it was just like it was slower, and I get what's going on, but it
Mhm.
wasn't really. I just you get to the fight, you pull the card up, you take the thing. Like I'm like, yeah, this is. I don't know. It wasn't grabbing me. Each encounter almost being the fact that it was an encounter, like if I'm playing Vampire Survivors, obviously you just sit there and shit just fucking happens, but I'm down for the version of this which is no, crawl around the dungeon, get into a fight, and like fight the thing. But it
Mhm.
wasn't. I don't know. It
Huh.
wasn't kind of fun enough. It was you queuing up the attacks and wiping through the enemies as they were there, and then going to the next one. And I was kind of like, I'm going deeper into the thing, and I was kind of just getting bored of the
I
the
think
progression. I don't know.
I think the progression needs to be faster.
Yes, way faster.
So it feels like, so the card system is slower than the move your character system. So like to me, Vampire Survivors started when I got my first evolution,
Mm,
right?
mhm,
Ever.
mhm, mhm.
Like I think it was the Blood Whip, which was very early. And then I was like, ooh, the dopamine.
Mhm.
And like I did get an evolution when I was playing the demo. It was the Santa Water evolution,
Okay.
which made a huge difference, and I just started flying fucking through that shit.
Okay.
But it is slower. I have a feeling that it has the same exact ramp that Vampire Survivors does, but I
Mm.
think it starts more slowly.
There is though a difference, and I think that as a dungeon crawler, it's accurate to this because you're moving and aiming through these corners and picking fights. But the stop and start of picking fights reminds me of what I hated in high aggro RPGs with random battles. Of
Yeah.
like there is a pacing break every time, and then all right, go, play all, all right, where's the next one? Same couple of enemies,
Mhm.
it's a couple bats, play all right. And like I'm like, I either let me just roll through this as a smooth, like they're here, they're dead, we move on, or oh my god, I'm dying, back up. Like let that kind of play out in that way, because
Mm.
in Vampire Survivors, that's you're not having a start and stop encounter. Now you're in the fight, now you're out of the fight, here's the next group of bats. And that little pace break for something that is ultimately you're throwing the Bible, the bats die, whatever, makes it feel more tedious. Something I didn't really think about at all when you're just kind of like walking forward and like, oh, maybe back off a little bit because the bats are coming too fast. I don't know. It just it didn't hit a point, and maybe I got to put more time in to see a nice big combo explosion and get the
Mm.
feeling of like ripping through the enemies. But the walking around and picking fights and starting and stopping and that's part of the genre felt too tedious to me. It just
Mm.
made me kind of stop. I yawned a little bit and was like, okay, I think I'm done here. After unlocking a couple characters.
Mhm.
Um, so we'll see. Um, but at the same time, I didn't enjoy Persona Q. You know, I played I bought
Yeah, I
that.
don't care for Etrian Odyssey.
Yeah, I bought that and went through it, and I was and made the thing, and then you make the map, and then you kind of discover, and I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of boring to me too, unfortunately. And I like the pieces of what's going on here, but I never finished it because I got too bored and it was
Mm.
too tedious. So like that's another example of something where I'm like, uh, maybe it's the genre of crawling and encountering fights in this way.
I would be interested to see how you reacted with something like Eye of the Beholder 2 or something like that, but those games no longer exist. They
Mm.
haven't been made in decades.
Well, the one
Um,
the one that's in UFO 50 was a lot of fun.
I
There's
didn't
a
get to that
dungeon
one.
crawler in UFO 50 that was great. I forgot what it was called, but I enjoyed that. But I
Because the main
just
thing is
yeah.
that like dungeon crawling of in that like perspective has been like it's been dumbed down to um basically fighting and exploring. and it removes the third part, which is puzzle solving,
Hmm.
and the fourth part, which is interacting with the environment. So if you play like a very old TSR, like Dungeons and Dragons game of that nature, like Eye of the Beholder or something like that. There's complicated puzzle layouts. There's the old D&D system. There's clicking on hidden pieces of walls, invisible walls,
Hmm. Hmm.
teleport, all sorts of stuff like
There's
that.
yeah.
The Grimrock games
Hmm.
did stuff like that as well.
Um,
Whereas in Etrian Odyssey, I got the feeling, and Strange Journey, it's like you fucking move around the environment and fucking fight.
So in UFO 50, I think Valbrace was the name of the game, and you are, one, you're like you have this kind of little punch out sort of thing to it that's cool, right? With the fight, so obviously it's nice to be able to see your character and dodge and move and attack. But you're also, it's because it's a shorter game and things are tighter. It felt like you were having. Your encounters were more varied. You'd run into different enemies more often. Yeah, as a result of the game being much shorter. And I think if I ran into 20 bats and then eventually I got to the grasshopper and the skeletons, it would have been more tedious and I would have enjoyed it less. And if that's how these kind of games tend to go, then yeah, it does just.
Oh wow, Valbrace is like way more. I'm not watching it now. I'm like, wow, this is way more about what I was talking about
Okay.
than like Etrian Odyssey
Yeah,
or
you're
anything
you're
like
picking
that.
your targets. Each enemy has different
That's
ways to
crazy, actually.
defense is a thing you have to pay attention to, and how and what to target, what to hit, and how. And it's great. It's really really cool, But Vampire Survivors, or Crawlers rather, right now represents just like the bad part of it to me, and so I hope that gets better and improves, or at the very least speeds the fuck up, and lets you just kind of like get going with it. Um, so anyway, yeah, that was that. Couple other things, but do you want to take that break now first?
Yeah, I gotta feed this dude.
All right, BRB.
This dog is hungry, and when he gets hungry, he attacks me.
Oh,
So he's very strong.
whoa. Alrighty. Um. So. Yes. Next, and this is I guess all part of a larger discussion here. I decided to check out Zero Parades
Oh, good.
so that I could see what was going on. Zero Parades for Dead Spies by Zaum. Check this out off camera as well. And it is an interesting thing to
It's definitely
it's an
interesting.
interesting thing to look at this. Because it yeah, it gives me it's you're watching this game that is you know the history of it, so you know what energy you're going to take going in, but um as you're playing it, so we talked about it before. You mentioned you can see the parts where, hey, look, this is the exact room from Disco Elysium you remember. Here's the part where you walk outside and there's a boat by the side, and you have a conversation with a dude on a boat off to the left. And
Mhm.
here's the rooms and the scenes and the moments, and here's the closed studio that's all in the dark over here, and all the little bits of disco that are echoing something that you're already familiar with, right? Um, and that's all there, and you're like, okay, you can see what cleanly is just lifted. And hey, do you remember this thing? Please like what you're getting here. We're trying to we're trying to remind you of the thing you liked. Please enjoy it, right?
Mhm.
But then outside of that, you go, okay, so what else is happening? You have a setting that's, being established with, the world and the politics, the different factions. They're all taking you on these journeys as they're establishing what each thing is. The character you're playing as is the spy that's a fuck up and is more self-serious than Harry is. Um, but overall, you're going through this presentation that, is it has the bits and pieces, but has these moments of like you're going on a tangent here, and I know that this is lacking the soul of what disco was going for, but
Pardon me.
what is most remarkable about this whole thing, I played a couple hours of it, right? So
Mhm.
I went a good
I played about 25 minutes.
okay, I went a good ways in.
Mhm.
I didn't beat it, but there's a lot to
Mhm.
go talk to and figure out there. um the thing about it that's most remarkable is that it's fine, right? In that the assets are nice, the art is well made, the music is great,
Yeah, I
is
would say
good.
so.
There's some voice acting that's not present because it's placeholder, but some that's there is good too. Some of the tangents they go on are interesting. Some of them are not. Some of them feel like you're being quirky for quirk's sake, but others are presenting ideas of a setting that might be interesting to learn about. It's all there, it's all competent. And if this were someone that you never heard of making a game, you would come into this going, huh,
You go,
okay,
"Oh,
okay,
okay.
there's some interesting stuff here. Let's
Yeah."
see where you're going with this. It is only knowing the history of this
It's a very strange
that
feeling.
presents the problem. It's only because you know the story that there's an issue here. I think yeah, because I think it would be disingenuous to come in and go, "What a piece of shit!" Right? Look at this
Absolutely
garbage.
not. That's patently
That
unfair.
would be a lie. It is not. It is a functioning, fine video game that is an RPG that is echoing Disco Elysium style and trying to offer more of the product that you consumed and enjoyed, because we are the license holders that hold it. But you and because it's just based on knowing the deal that makes that weird feeling ever present in it. um and like the fact that you're gonna a thread you might not question, where you're like, oh, that conversation just seemed a little pointless, or you're trying to be weird but you didn't really go anywhere, or that charm was kind of missing there. You might not pull a magnifying glass out for those moments, but because you know the story of Zaum here, you are willing to do that and put this under the microscope. And for all the creative people and the writers and the artists or whatever that are all working on this, it's under the shadow of this stolen work and shitty energy. And I was bringing this up when I was talking about it yesterday, but it's kind of like when we talk about the AI art analogy. because
Mm.
the idea of objecting to it because look how wonky it looks and looks so stupid, haha, is the wrong
Misses the
idea.
point.
You missed the point. The point is not that, because it's going to eventually get good enough to fool you. So don't focus on that. It's the fact that a person didn't make this, right? And so here, this is going to be something where we know the deal and people we're talking to here probably as well. But I think that it'll also at large probably be something that people who've heard about this Disco Elysium thing that was a pretty fun game. Oh, here comes the next one.
Mm.
Oh, cool. We're going to play it. It'll make its money. It'll probably end up being just fine. Not everyone
I
is
bet
hanging
this will
on.
be a good game.
Yeah, not everyone is hanging off the news and more or less, or getting into the dev stories behind the scenes. And like this ended up being a bit of a discussion with chat yesterday about like how much people know about this stuff versus just us diving in, because part of our jobs is covering these things. And
But the average person doesn't know about Disco Elysium either.
and it was and so this was the bubble we're in. It was perfectly encapsulated by the fact that Reggie walked in and sat down and was like, "So what's the deal with this one again?" Right? And I had to recap him on the deal with Zero Parades, and he was like, "Oh yeah, okay, right." And he sat there through the entire Disco Elysium playthrough and loved it. And it was just like, yeah, I don't know. This is the next Zao. Okay, is it good? And it's like, well, no, but it's like that's not the point. The problem is that it was stolen and the people and the credit. And it's like, oh yeah, okay.
It's a whole thing.
So
we're going to talk a lot about theft today.
So somebody who is other people that I know that I've talked to, that I've told about Disco Elysium, and other people that I've gotten in, might just as similarly kind of go, oh yeah, it's the new thing from those folks. Okay, cool, and just leave it at that. And that's enough for the game to make its money, exist, be successful, be a solid game, whatever. Like that's
absolutely
that. So we're in a world where like nothing about what's being shown to you is going to betray in an obvious manner like the problem with the game. It's all going to be based on what you know about the story.
So I've had two like thoughts kicking around in my head. The first of which is that when you play Disco Elysium very early, I mean before leaving the room, but definitely by the time you get to talk to Kuno, you get this overwhelming sense, like few games have ever made me feel, that the people who are making it, they don't just have something to say. They have so much to say, it is exploding out of them.
Bursting at the seams, uncontained. Absolutely.
Like they oh my God, they have many, many things of note they want to talk about.
And go see more of that energy reading the fucking Eternal Summer Manifesto, Right.
And when I played Zero Parades, and to be fair, I only got about 20, 25 minutes in.
Yeah.
I got the overwhelming feeling that their bosses told them to make another Disco Elysium.
Yep, that's true.
Like that was like my takeaway, is that the core artistic like scream coming out of that game is, I want to keep my job and make a video game.
So while that is the case, and that is definitely present and there, I played about 4.5 hours of it. And there's moments where you meet this like angry hipstery old man that sells music and is going on about the majesty of this particular format that's so interesting to listen to, that it's this self-erasing disc that is never meant to be played, and it's the ultimate hipster format of music that can only be played once, and it goes down it explores this whole idea of that, right? And that is related to the dude who you find who's zeroed out on the couch because whatever, the music is erased, and if you go into that, you have these moments of tapping into the inland empire and the spirituality of your character, connecting to other worlds and other things. And, it's doing those bits, right? There's other moments where you have characters who are being like, there's your authoritarian But this time, instead of blue authoritarian, it's your red authoritarian on the wall communist. There's not enough bricks for to receive the bullets of the people that we need to line up on them. And then there's the cop who's just like, hey man, can't people just be okay with things being decent for a little bit? Things are fine, you know? And it has these things of like, yeah, there's characters here that may or may not want to say something, and writers that may or may not want to say something, but above them all is the light-bending moneylender who is ultimately bending the light to make this whole world exist. And that is the foundation of the game you're playing is built on that, and you can't ignore that part.
I foresee this game being a fairly good tasting facsimile of the best hot dog I've ever eaten in my life.
Is that the word of the week?
Facsimile?
It might be. We're on
I don't know.
We're on U6.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm going to say that the most likely timeline we end up with, and ultimately the one that will be the probably the most depressing, but thus the most disco, is there is no true successor. Disco's a moment, and it happened, and it was a one and done. And what we're gonna get, right, is you got Zero Parades for Dead Spies over here, Zaum doing what it can to be like, hey, please continue to give us the money you remember. Also check out the Amazon series that's not gonna happen, and a billion other things we can do with this IP, right? You got Tangerine Antarctic, formerly known as Triple X Night Shift. And that's a couple of the people that were at Zaum going to found Dark Math.
But it needs to be the whole.
And they're going to do what they can, but you know, who knows what that'll end up being. Similarly, you've got Hopetown and that's Longdew. That's a couple of other people that are like former staffers and folks, and they've got Lenval Brown with them on that Kickstarter, and it was successful. So they you know, we'll see what that becomes, but who the fuck knows, right? Eternal Summer is out here screaming, and we don't know if they actually have anyone around that can make a video game, but I hope they track one down, because the energy is cool, but how to convert that into actual product is difficult. And then you've got Red Info, which is where Curvitz actually ended up, and their project is called Corinthians. You know, so this whole thing has exploded into all these places that it'll never be the same again, and nor should we expect it to. But if all of these things come out and end up being disco-like games that are fine, I feel like that's the most likely timeline we're on, and it'll just be this kind of weird, like, oh, disco kind of became a commodity. Here we are.
Well, I think
it always was, but
I think what really matters the most
true to form,
is that
Joy stays
the most
correct.
Disco possibility that could possibly happen is that all the successors of the movement all scramble and fight and scrape and kick and spit on one another, fighting for the title of the true heir. And the true heir is likely completely unrelated to all of them in any way whatsoever.
Because there's no...
Please tell me how much you liked Esoteric Ebb.
Esoteric Ebb is great. And Esoteric Ebb, but here's the thing, because I can see the setup and the tee off to slam dunk this and to go that's the one who takes the torch. And I go, no, not really. It's doing its own thing. It loves disco and takes that form, but it's also...
That's my point.
Yeah, but it also loves Planescape Torment, and it's also just off doing its own bit. We don't need to...
loves Planescape Torment, dude.
You know, it really does. It really does. And we don't need to force the mantle onto it, because I think it's like, nah, it's very clear that it's a fan of the thing, and it's doing something else, but it's great.
No, that's my point. Like, my point is that the mantle goes to that which does not want it.
Or care.
Right? Mm-hmm. So the most interesting thing about Esoteric Ebb is that it started out as a Planescape Torment fan game.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And then Disco came out a year plus later. So the writing of this game started based off of Planescape Torment. But the structure was then later adapted to disco structure.
In fact, what I was saying is that I feel it's painfully obvious, but you can tell this is a living, detailed D&D setting that somebody came up with a long time ago and probably played lots of campaigns with their friends in it, and they have a bible of this stuff, and they've been working on a way to turn this into a game. And then Disco presented the container format.
Here's the nuts and bolts of how to actually have this dialogue happen.
And we're going to take these ingredients that already existed and put it through the Disco Elysium juicer to get that way of interfacing with this world. And it's an entertaining way to interface with the world, so it worked out great. So yeah, I played Esoteric Ebb yesterday, and it was definitely the most enjoyment I've had from, you know, this post-disco world. And I really thought that, like, you know, taking the classic high fantasy D&D setting of like the stats that you would know and stuff, and adding the, you know, the voices in your head bit to it, the fact that you're this cleric and yeah, exactly, you're not pulling the helmet off, and every character you're talking to is what I will say is that this feels like a much smaller game, but as a result, every character is a fleshed out encounter discussion. It feels like in order to make the indie game version of a disco thing work here, which, you know, of course Disco was to begin with, but even smaller in scale, I'm imagining, you want each of these characters to be someone you're talking to for half an hour, you know?
Yeah,
And
so it, like, Disco was the Warren Spector game inside a city block, but like, you know, depth of the ocean but wide as a puddle kind of thing. And Ebb feels like it's like, no, smaller, tighter,
Yeah.
deeper,
Yeah.
even smaller.
Because, you know, talking to Call Me Mañana is not the same as talking to Kuno or Evrart, right?
Yeah.
Kuno and Evrart are fucking full-on experiences.
Get your fucking ass in the good spot in the couch.
You can fucking hit that for an hour, you know? And sure enough, Esoteric Ebb, it was like you wake up off the table, you're in the zombie dungeon, and it took like 45 minutes of just getting up and wandering around that basement before I got upstairs. And because we're also reading out the lines and doing the voice acting with each thing, it's taking a little bit extra long as opposed to reading through it.
I spoke to a guy at Raw Fury. He sent me a code, and I was like, I played the demo. This game seems really special. You should give Chris more money for voice acting. And the official response that I gathered from Raw Fury was,
Yeah. No, at the end of the stream, the dev came over to the chat and was like, "Hey, thanks for playing the game." And we're like, "Oh, okay, cool, no problem. That was great." Voice acting.
So he actually, Chris responded and was like, "It's expensive."
It is very expensive.
That's it.
Yeah, but
like that, but very straightforward.
But it saved Disco Elysium.
Disco came out twice. Because when I looked it up, I was like, Disco came out in 2019.
Sure did. And that first experience with it was me reading through, talking out loud for an hour, going, "Oh boy, I don't think this is going to work." And I know we would like to believe that the text-only experience is all you need for a game that's good to be successful, but seeing it and having it go through word of mouth on different channels, on different Twitch, on YouTube, and spreading, etc., with the voice acting and taking and people approaching it more willingly, made a huge difference in how much that game spread. So
yeah,
don't discount that. It was a massive deal when the final cut came out, and then the game exploded because you could see the potential there, but a lot of people were just not willing to actually engage. It was huge.
So as the primary form of game advertisement that currently exists, you and I, it has actually become kind of astonishing for story-based games how much full voice acting like adds to the word of mouth / like knowledge of the game's existence, right? So like Pentiment is an incredible game that I never even heard of anyone streaming it, because it's like, it is just much like Planescape Torment, much like Disco, much like Ebb, million fucking words.
Mhm.
Just fucking endless oodles of fucking texts. Can't do it. Me, you, and Paige all streamed Disco Elysium in 2019, and we got to like the body, and all of us called it quits after like 90 minutes to 2.5 hours with shredded throats, going, "Wow, what a cool game."
And I think, as I can see, some folks might disagree here. The more accurate descriptor on that is Disco Elysium, without the final cut and without the voice acting, would have been a profitable, successful, obscure game that was like people would talk about, and it would be not super huge, but it'd be great, and it'd be a darling, and it'd be like a sleeper hit. I think the final cut is what brought it to a major level of like awareness and success. It was it's the level it was at before was a moderate level of success, comparable to other indie games that we like that other people don't really know about.
Can I hold up my hand for a second? Somebody in the chat says, by the way, large streamer Joseph Anderson, who I'm a fan of, also streamed Disco and Pentiment without any voice acting.
Wow.
Have you seen a Joseph Anderson video?
No.
It's unshocking. He puts out like 8-hour like video reviews of like games like Witcher.
Holy shit. Okay.
Like, that man can talk.
Okay.
That man also has time to save because he pisses in the sink. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
So like,
okay.
I don't like, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't have the gumption.
So what I
piss in toilets.
So what I can say is that I've deliberately worked on the ability to do games that are text heavy, so that I could be able to approach something like this and handle it.
You have definitely like strengthened up your thrusty.
I was yes. It was training.
But to be fair, you do have the ready tag.
Yes.
From your buddy.
100%.
Caboose doesn't help.
No. How did you approach it?
Which one?
Ebb.
I played the demo for 40 minutes.
Okay.
and then I switched to a different demo.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then I think I played Life of a Goldman after.
Okay. Because doing a full day of it, like at the end we were like, whoo,
Yeah.
And I was just tired enough that morning too, that like as the different stats were kicking in, I'm like, I can't even come up with or keep track of voices on these right now. Like, eventually it settled into place as I got my caffeine and felt better, but the beginning of playing it, I'm like, oh man, dude, like I'm gonna take, you take, I don't know, whatever, just wing it. And then eventually things settled into place.
Somebody fucking say something.
Yeah. And there'll be times where it's like, I'll be like, okay, like off camera, I'll go like this and Reggie will go for it. Or sometimes it'll be like, okay, he's like, he picked int and I picked an int character. And then he was doing a bunch of lines where you click on the extra context and int wouldn't shut the fuck up and started becoming Wikipedia. So I'm like, all right, let me save you. We'll alternate between int lines because this nerdy, stupid build won't shut the fuck up, we got the fun, unintentional double fash combo of big strength, big int. Fash is
Int's crazy.
Fash is awesome, and I'm the only one that should be allowed.
me and Paige loaded the game up, and she built a cleric, and we ran through the intro and getting off the table, and then I ran a different cleric that I did in the demo. There's a lot of variability.
There's 18 subclasses. You have all the stats, which they brilliantly give you. You have a big text wall for the full description of what each stat does. But then if you want to just get to the brass tacks, you've got a bold, does this, does that, and then an even further bullet point, to get the feel of it. And then underneath, you've got these backstories that are all just like bonus points. And it's got 18 variants because it's taking each stat and giving you +2/+1 combinations of all of them, I'm wow, the variability of that. It is so much going into a builder that is I mean, it's not Baldur's Gate fucking 3, you know what I mean?
No, but it's definitely, there's more like Disco Elysium is a Trotsky novel masquerading as a video game, right? Esoteric Ebb has like some fucking video game in there.
Yeah. Yeah, you get into fights, you do stuff. Absolutely.
You get into fights, there's a combat system, there's the spell system, there's subclasses.
Something interesting too about Disco, and because I was reminded of this while playing Zero Parades, is that like it also is something that if you're not someone that read a bunch of books or is or so, it kind of trains you or gets you used to like prose, and and the idea of like when you're going through text at large, sometimes scenes will be sometimes you'll cut away to places and moments and things that you can't see depicted, and it's just describing it to you, you know. And moments of world building are happening that your imagination is basically carrying you forward. But if you were the movie of this is playing out simultaneously elsewhere, but you know, while you continue to stare at the current scene. So Esoteric Ebb is not really doing that. It's very much in the present. But at least from the high int stat, what you're getting is every time a word is said, you're getting a Wikipedia on what the history of that race or war or
is that int?
Int.
Or is that like the specific stat you're talking about?
Int. That's int that's doing it.
Oh, that
right. Int is encyclopedia.
Of course it is.
And a lot of the time it's bringing up, you know, historical context, and sometimes it's going into
bringing up a bunch of bullshit
that like we know what okay, shut the fuck up, int, right? And then yeah, you've got the whole political element of like each stat is a party that you can lean in on. But it took like, I felt it took like 3 hours to get out of that basement and see the outside, you know? And that was 4 conversations later.
Yeah.
So that's the way this game is going to go, is there's a dude up top the stairs, there's a person right outside the door, and another person underneath that. And each of those is an Everart's length conversation you're going to go through. And if you're in the mood to have that joust, you know, then great. Like, this is going to deliver all the fun of what you enjoyed about Disco with this own high fantasy D&D style system, and affecting your outcomes and relationships and so on. But I feel, and this is just a guess, I feel like if you want maps and sprawling environments, this is not going to be that. This is not going to be that place. And my impression is that Planescape is like at times just big dungeon go, right? Not every moment is about conversing to the nth degree. Sometimes you're going to just walk past some zombies and skeletons and zap them. I don't know how much this game is going to really do that, you know?
It's a lot closer to Disco than it is to Planescape in that respect.
Real fun stuff going on there, and I guess the bits that you're left with, I feel like, are like, okay, every one you're talking to is a quirky D&D style monster, character, race, etc. That
a little bit of a send up in a lot of cases.
In what way?
Like they're pastiches.
Sure, I mean
they're archetypes.
So yeah, like when you walk out and you see,
like, the stats themselves are archetypes of the types of characters people would play.
100%. So when you see cool buff orc lady, you're like, yeah, if you're playing this game, you're probably gonna dig that. Like, anyone who boots this game up is probably super down for handsome orc lady, you know, and the bait that gets laid immediately after the conversation with her begins. And yeah, we take that bait. That's fine. We know what we're walking into. But what I was surprised by too is, I guess it was like, by the end of the session, it was like, oh, someone joined my party. And, like you have Kim in Disco and stuff, like there is a party, but I kind of was reminded like, oh yeah, like the cover of this game's art shows you a cleric and a goblin and another person. And like, you're probably going to, a D&D party is going to go out and do a thing, So, yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out a bit more of that when I get a chance. But I'm also wondering if, is weight maxing the right play here? This might be a situation where weight maxing is the right move. I don't know.
I think I don't fucking know. I I looked up the how long to beat, and it's approximately the same size as Disco. Ish.
Interesting.
And I'm like, Disco took a long time, even though it says it doesn't. Like, how long to beat is made by people who don't voice act the fucking dialogue.
Yes, exactly.
They just read it. Or in some cases, don't read it at all. Or
click through, skip through, or quickly read, internalize, and keep moving. And to be fair, like playing Baldur's Gate 3, for example, I know that no one, even on your own time, is reading all that flavor text. No one is. It is impossible. There's just
Millennium is,
different. I mean, every book you pick up, every single highlight of every object in every journal, get the fuck out of here. You're not doing that. You're surfing on the gist.
I gotta tell you, I know a couple people in this chat live right now that absolutely do for surezies.
Okay.
But they're non-human entities.
I feel like the intended consumption at some point is like read until you're tired and then move on.
Intent is not of note here. There's a guy in here that's beaten Baldur's Gate 3 like fucking 14 times. Right. Yeah, that guy reads all the books.
Right. Anyway, so I'm gonna decide how to approach this, but what I will say is that, hey, this cool little fan thing that is doing its own, send up of genres that it loves, then this creator that loves D&D, Planescape, and Disco made a fun indie game that's worth checking out and buying, Esoteric Ebb. And boy, does it love the word esoteric. Instead of calling things arcane, things are just called esoteric. And like, I want to say we voiced that out maybe like 20 times yesterday, But yeah, it was fun. And I also say it was rewarding to fail through, because that's the other thing I wanted to like kind of test is I'm like, okay, playing this on the streamer brain means content push, means run into failure and see what happens. And because you're playing a Disco, like, you're also hoping that you'll trip over the wheelchair and give the double deuces on the way down.
Yeah.
But I can say here that it was definitely rewarding to fail through, and it paid off for failing checks as well as succeeding in them. So plus it was nice to see a lot of people in chat freak out going, oh my god, this scene went completely different for me.
Yeah, no, that's always very, very uplifting. It's like, ooh, that's exciting if I ever want to go through it again.
So in the end, Disco epilogue, who the fuck cares? It happened, and then now new things will happen, and let's enjoy the good ones.
Don't understand. We have to be the successors.
Let's enjoy the good ones and ignore the nothings. And that's it. I really do.
It took decades for somebody to come up with the successor to Planescape Torment, and it definitely had nothing to do with fucking D&D. It was about drug abuse.
I really, really hope that somewhere someone comes along and just, how we said producers do multiple things?
They do. It's true.
Right? sometimes it's the yapper that does nothing and puts the name on the credits, and other times
and comes in and goes, "Hey, I played a new game this weekend. I have some ideas."
In fact, my nephew has some ideas based on the phone games they've been playing. When are you going to put those in? Or there's the can you turn all this energy, can you harness it into a direction, right? And right now we have Summer Eternal, which is a blazing hot inferno, and we just need someone to contain it and make it a laser. Can we concentrate it into a laser? You know, I hope
The
so.
most important thing a good producer can do is when somebody comes in and goes, I have an idea for a new feature that I think I can make on my own time." And they go, "Can you test it and do all the assets for it on your own time also?" And they go, "No." And then they go, "Then we're going to be late. So get out of my office." "No, you're not putting it in."
I mean, I'm a fan of absolutely great idea. I'll get right on that.
Absolutely. And that's how you end up in a situation where Nagoshi goes, "Oops, we need 44 million fucking dollars."
No! Gang of Dragon, no. We'll get there. Oh boy. All right. We gotta get a move on though. So
All right, so I did a slot battle.
Hey, Wooly Versus on Twitch and YouTube. Go ahead.
I did a slop battle between the slops. I did it between Arc Raiders, the ethically dubious AI using video game that's in the extraction genre, and Marathon, the game that absolutely got caught plagiarizing designs and maybe other, and had to settle out of court over it. They are both extraction games. That is scavenger type shooters that have you scrounging up a bunch of materials, possibly shooting NPCs, possibly getting ganked by other players, and if you die, you lose all of your stuff.
If I may, just from the
Yes.
In my impression, overtly expecting hostility and getting ganked and shot at by other people
Yes.
has been my expectation of what this genre is.
That is the expectation of the genre.
Okay.
Is that other players are dangerous.
Yes.
Especially on extraction, be it however you get out, because when you extract, you make a bunch of noise. And when you're extracting, that means you have tons of shit on your body
that people
which
could
means
use.
You're valuable.
Mm-hmm.
So I played them. I played Marathon first, and I played Arc Raider second. I was given a code for both. I did not buy them. And despite the fact that I have been wildly critical of Bungie, I would say I am one of Bungie's biggest haters. Like, genuinely. I think me trying to portray myself as not one of Bungie's biggest haters would be fucking ridiculous. That being said, I hit a moment, and I'm sure you hit this moment.
I would say that both podcasts that we've been on have been at the at least in the top 10 of most anti-Bungie media
probably
that has been produced. Sure.
I hit a moment
Halo was fun.
And I think you've hit this moment with other games or other movies where you're just like, I got to know. I gotta know.
Sometimes
my brain mandates understanding of the appeal. Like,
yes,
I absolutely must
know. Yes, absolutely. You've watched me do that many a time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I loaded up Marathon, and the audio visual presentation in terms of the style, the splash screen, the background art, loading screen, all that stuff. It's very first 10 minutes of Metal Gear Solid 4. It's very like
the TV channel,
like tuning into like fake future TV kind of thing. It has a pretty cohesive vibe of like corpo shit future. I like the color range that they go with. I like the plastic look. It kind of looks like the future of Mirror's Edge.
Oh, you mean anti-reels?
Yes, I do mean anti-reels art style.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Now,
now
we can get into the fucking weeds on that. which I have done so on social media, which is like they didn't lift the whole art style. No, but they lifted cohesive parts of that art style that they then had to make new assets to build around because those were stolen. And now that they have been caught plagiarizing, it is not up to me to decide whether or not to give them the benefit of the doubt on any individual piece, because I know that some of these pieces are stolen. And I know that because there was a settlement out of court that I assume Anti-Real got a good amount of payment because they are now in the fucking credits of the game as a design consultant.
Yes.
Which is the ultimate gimme I got caught, oh fuck acknowledgement.
Yep.
But regardless, in my attempt at judging the game on its own merits, I said my piece and I put it to the side. It's got a cool unified future aesthetic.
Okay. Was any of that part of because it had one before in Marathon Durandal, right?
No, it doesn't link to that.
No, I know, but I'm just saying Marathon existed.
No, I don't see. So I don't know much about the before times Marathon. But I don't see any similarity here.
Of course not. I was merely stating that like this choice in naming of the product, there was an existing thing, but whatever this is whatever it is now. Anyway,
I loaded into the tutorial, and the first thing that happened is that the game runs like shit.
Yeah. Okay.
It runs really bad. And it runs a very specific bad in which I went through every single graphical option on stream, including turning super sampling on at the highest resolution and putting it down to 720p with DLSS at 33%. Like fucking resolution. So I was like running it at like 400p.
No dice.
Zero difference in performance.
How about that?
Zero.
Okay.
Only to then find out from somebody in the chat that the game doesn't like OBS.
Oh. And you're same system streaming, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Which is a problem.
Okay.
So then I brought up Task Manager and set Marathon to high affinity and doubled my frame rate.
Okay.
So off the bat, the game needs some more work under the hood. It is crazy CPU heavy. I wasn't maxing out my CPU. I wasn't maxing out my graphic card. It has genuine room for optimization.
Do you tend to benchmark and then tweak from there, or do you go to Ultra and pull it down?
I tend to turn everything on, and if it's stably above 70, I leave it, and if it's not, I turn on DLSS, and then I go quality, balanced, performance, and if that doesn't work, then I start kicking down options.
Okay.
Usually the DLSS functions is plenty for performance, genuinely. So got into it. As expected, Marathon controls really, really well. It feels fucking awesome to move around in that setting. To shoot, to mantle, to run. Bungie makes games that control and feel really excellent. Like it's like absolutely
the next
like
in the line of Halo to Destiny to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It fit like the gunfire and the hit effects, they all feel really good. Like no complaints. Looting and using the menus feels really bad because Bungie is obsessed with their fake mouse cursor on a controller.
Oh, okay.
Obsessed with it. Now, when you loot in both games that I played, when you pick up a loot box or a player, you slowly reveal the items in their inventory. Right? So it's like you'll see the blank inventory and then it'll fade in the item and then it'll fade in the next item and it'll fade in the next item, right? So the fake mouse cursor isn't the end of the world because you have already moved it to the loot box to do it. But it doesn't, like, the interface part actually doesn't feel very good at all.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, right?
Yeah.
But Whereas we will get shit every time we pick up a controller to play a first-person shooter,
Yeah.
is Bungie not also in line with like are they not like a company where the games they make are usually expected that the controller is supposed to work really well here because
Yes.
they make console shooters?
They make controller games.
Okay.
Like Bungie games are played with controller.
Yeah.
Like to the point where the server slam for Marathon had a mouse lag input bug that had gone unfixed.
Because I'm like, if any company is, if you give me shit on a controller for a lot of different types of FPSs, I can imagine, but like
Now I need to remind you, Destiny 1 many years ago was the one that invented the fake mouse cursor on controller.
I see. Okay.
That's Bungie's child, and they will never give that child up, and I don't know why, because it sucks.
But I would
bad
assume
baby.
that their games more than any are like, made for that.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's after that, got into a bunch of matches.
Is there an early hook that they drop on you?
Yeah, the tutorial has some things happen, and then a weird NPC with a video package tells you a bunch of weird ass future shit, and then gives you a couple little quests to do. But the main guts of it is getting into the map and wandering around and scrounging, and so thank God they added solo play. They added solo queues.
I can't believe those
it was
words
one
are
of the things that they fought against the most.
Mhm.
But you can now queue as solo, and you will get into matches that is other people playing solo.
Thank God for solo queue is a wild sentence, but I understand.
Well, here's the thing.
I understand the context.
If you're playing solo queue and you're playing in a multiplayer game where people can rob you and everyone else is in a 3-man stack, you're cooked.
Yeah.
Like your options are highly limited.
Mm-hmm.
There is a character that you can play called Rook, which comes into late matches by themselves that are filled up, and they are explicitly a sneaky scavenger type.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Which is a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
But you can play as a solo operator in a solo lobby, which I did. And I picked the shell that can turn invisible because of course I fucking did. That is what every single person who plays in the solo lobby picks, because there is a character that can turn fucking invisible. Mm-hmm. And I had a pretty good time wandering around very, very interesting, future-y, weirdo environments, hiding from map NPCs and dangers, seeing other players and trying to kind of fucking see if they were chill or not, and usually ignoring them. But what ended up happening is that I wanted to talk to somebody in the solo queue. In Marathon, you have a push to talk for proximity chat that's like global, right? Mm-hmm. And what happened is I would see somebody, I would usually see somebody first, and I would go, hey, friendly, and then I would eat a fucking bullet. Mm-hmm. Is what happened.
Yeah.
And that happened significantly. And then I ran into one gentleman who was like, oh, hey, man. And I was like, everyone is really aggro in this game. And he went, yeah, it's nuts. Hey, do you want to go do a quest? And then we wandered off together to finish off our objectives, which are per run, right? It's, go extract this or get this item or whatever. And on the way there, we got snuck up on and killed by another player.
Okay.
Who was not friendly and did not talk to us.
Open comms already. Like
open comms. So I was like, I would be insane if I wanted to play this game with closed comms. Like it's
not made for that.
Absolutely vital aspect.
Yeah.
So I played it for about 2.5 hours. I got a bunch of the quests done. I ran into a nice person. The game plays well. It has interesting systems. It has good reasons to hop in and wander around the map. It's quite difficult. The enemy NPCs are very tough. And the community of Marathon players is the Bungie community. and the generalized community of extraction players, which is other players are de facto dangerous. They are scary. They are probably violent.
Yeah, I just
Um,
assume this genre is everyone is hostile and the friendlies are the exception to the rule.
They are roaming,
For
violent
sure.
threats,
Mm-hmm.
and they are more dangerous than the NPCs because they're people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They can do anything, and they want your stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I came away with it with a fairly positive opinion. I will definitely go back to it if I see that there is a performance patch and it stops running like shit. Like I made it run better by doing the CPU affinity thing, but like the game runs bad and it runs inconsistently. I saw, that thing where people have worse computers than you and they go, actually it runs fine for me. I don't understand what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things.
Okay. This was not the ending to the story I was expecting
No.
off of the narrative of Marathon on this
Yeah.
podcast that has been
Well, I
akin
was
to Anthem and Fallout 76.
Well, I was absolutely adamant that I take this game on its own merits.
Yep.
And like, just because I hate Bungie a lot doesn't mean I can't look at this with like clean eyes, which makes it really funny when I have received comments since then about what a grudge I brought into it, when I actually came away from the game positive. It's like, oh, you got pre-mad. You got pre-mad at the expectation of my opinion. That's so interesting. You're like a child. But yeah, it needs better performance. It needs better performance. And it is very still like pushing towards like 3-man groups because the NPCs are very difficult and I don't want to play in a 3-man group, so I probably wouldn't stick around. But like it's solid. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to come out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, the impressions that we were getting, from the press events and the stuff that was going on beforehand, all were these really weird, rough ones. At the end of the day, to me, I'm like, hey, did Anti-Real cash the check? Yes. Okay. All right. Do your thing.
I hope they crushed it.
Right?
I hope they got a lot of money.
And what I will say is that it's not the same genre, but from doing my friendly 3-person Discord runs in Apex Legends, I know that like the fun of playing with a squad going through a game like this is it's baked in. But instead of a circle closing in battle royale style, you just take it from run to run and go. I'm sure that can be super fun if the gameplay is actually tight and you guys are coordinating and so on,
Now I am like, and then I gave my opinion at the end. I'm like, it's a shame about all that plagiarism stuff. That sucks. They shouldn't do that. I will bring that up every time Bungie comes up ever again. To which some folks are like, well, what do you want them to do? It's like, I would like them to go 1 year of their company's life without a plagiarism scandal.
Well, don't worry, they fired the artist.
That would be a start.
They fired the artist responsible.
1 year from now.
No,
1 year from now.
But they fired the artist responsible for doing that.
Yeah, they always do. They always fire the one artist responsible.
The mysterious artist.
Like 5 times in a row. Like every time. That's crazy. They always get the one guy. This is fucking nuts.
This mysterious member of the art team just keeps getting rehired, and I don't know.
So I then loaded up Arc Raiders, and the Arc Raiders thing is twofold. One, they paid voice actors to feed their voices into the robot so that the robot can do voice acting forever at essentially no cost. Is this theft? No. I would consider it using scab labor, I think is actually the more appropriate.
That's one way to put it.
Analogy.
Sure. Okay.
Is it gross? Yes. Is it theft? No.
It sucks.
So Arc fulfills like a very strange in between. Also, the machine that they use to make it is the theft machine.
And did the voice actors sign up for that on their contracts?
They did.
Yeah.
Which is why I call it scab labor. So right off the bat, man, did they not need to do that shit at all. The voice acting in the game sucks and also isn't important at all.
Okay. Now,
Like it's crazy.
now you're coming into this game, which is unlike Marathon. Arc Raiders is the established current king of the genre.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Arc Raiders accidentally exploited a security vulnerability in Discord and put everybody's Discord DMs at risk.
Whoopsies.
Yeah. So, these extraction games just can't be had without these caveats. So, start Arc Raiders and it's in third person, so I already like it better.
Fuck, I didn't
Like,
know
just-
that.
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
you didn't know that?
I didn't know that. Yeah. All right.
Started in third person, already likes it better. Step 2,
That's a big deal.
runs great.
Okay.
It's an Unreal Engine 5 game and it runs great. So right off the bat, that's 2 points in its direction. And I'm like, oh, this is already a much better experience. Solid tutorial, like very solid tutorial. The tutorial has you get snuck up on and ganked by fake players.
Okay.
To teach you how that works. And then very, very similarly, after that tutorial, load you into a map with basically nothing on you. Hey man, go do this quest, do this quest, do that quest, explore. There's people all over the place. And the arcs in this case are like a lot of drones and a lot of walking robots that are just populating the map. One of the most interesting things is one of the controls is in Marathon, you can enable press right on the D-pad to talk, but you have to hold it. You might, so they don't want you talking
While fighting
and doing anything else.
Yeah.
Right. And on top of that, one of the things that I thought was really interesting in Marathon is that other players are kind of highlighted in red and the auto aim tracks them super aggressively. So like the game is like pushing you, like shoot them. Fucking shoot them.
Okay.
Shoot them.
Hostile baked in.
When I was playing Arc Raiders, I went into the voice settings, and one of the first voice settings that I was like, that I got a look at was toggle to talk. With the D-pad.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily hold it on. It's like, do you want to have a real voice that you can turn on and just speak into the ether
the whole time? Yeah. Okay.
the whole time? Like, yes. And so I was like, okay, got that. Ran into a guy within like a minute, like immediately, right the fuck away. And I went, oh, hey. And he went, hey, bud, what's going on? And then we continued to hang out on voice for the whole fucking map and shoot the shit.
Immediately
and he
non-hostile.
helped show me where to find things. And we chit-chatted about the Marathon launch.
The first person you ran into.
The very first, and then he was like, hey, man, I'll send you a friend request. And then he sent me a friend request. And then he helped me extract, and it was very pleasant. And then I started a second match, and it happened again.
Wow.
And a third, and a fourth,
Wow.
and a fifth, and a sixth, and a seventh, and an eighth, and a ninth, and a 10th, and an 11th, and a 12th.
Wow. Okay. So
every single person I ran into for like 3.5 hours was a chill, normal, good microphone having human being who was playing it like a co-op MMO.
Are you getting queued up with other people who are starting out as well, or is this just random?
No.
So is it just the volume of this being the #1 game that is...
No. What Arc Raiders has is aggression-based matchmaking. So there's a story about Arc. Basically, Arc Raiders started out with no aggression-based matchmaking. And you just got put into a lobby, and that's what was that. The way people acted is the way that they acted. And then Arc Raider streamers burnt out on all the content, and then we're like, we're gonna just turn this into a PvP game, and became super, super violent. And the game's population, as a result, got super, super, super violent.
Okay.
And as a result, the devs added aggression-based matchmaking. So when you start the game, you are being flooded into lobbies of people that don't shoot people.
Interesting.
So your
That's
first match is going to be a match with chill guys.
okay. Okay. And if you show that the game you want is a
And
hostile shoot
so
first, ask questions later game, then you get placed with those people.
after
Yeah.
about
Okay.
3
Okay.
hours, I was like, well, let's see what's going to happen. So I shot some people. I ran into a guy with no mic, and he was doing the little hop up, the crouch up and down to show me he was friendly. And I blew his head off, and I took his stuff. And then I ran into another player who was extracting, and they were like, hello. And then I blew their head off and took their stuff. And then I loaded into another match and saw a guy at a very far distance, and I ran up to him and shot him in the back and took his stuff. And then I saw another guy very, very far away shooting arc, and then I shot him in the back and took his stuff. And I did that 5 or 6 or 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then I loaded into a match, and you can tell if you're in a shithead match.
You
So
hear
when
it?
what you can see it. So when players get downed, they fire a flare straight up into the air. So the flare shooting straight up in the air is a vision of there's fighting over here, but there's also loot over here, right? So when you load into a match and you see a thing go up, can you see a drone flying around them? Can you hear a bunch of mechanized infantry far away? Oh, that person died fighting an arc, right? But do you load into a match and you see flare, 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 and all you hear is gunfire?
Yeah.
You get the fucking vibe
Okay.
of that match. And I ran into people who would shoot first on site. I ran into a guy who was chit-chatting with me as I was fighting an arc. I didn't even realize, but chat saw he was trying to kill me with sniper fire in the middle of my gunfight. And I didn't notice because I was busy.
Okay.
And then he snuck up on me and took me out.
So in terms of
And that was also a pretty fun multiplayer experience. Now, if I go back and just chill for a couple of runs, it'll nudge me back down
towards
into the
passive
chill spot.
Now, this is where I'm not. I don't know enough about them to know this, but so Battle Royale, you are cornered off into a circle where the whole point is kill each other until there's one left, right? With extraction shooters, the round is just time based and then it ends neutrally, or is there anything pushing the round end?
So the way that it works is so Marathon and Arc Raiders do it slightly differently, but in Marathon there are points on the map that are extraction points. And they have a limited amount of time before they become unavailable. Right? So the longer the match goes on, the less places you can actually leave.
Right. Okay. So for example, the most recent, one of the few extraction things I did experience was Mash Mac mode in Mecha Break, right? Yeah. And even if you were playing a non-hostile person, there's still a limited space for you to get shit out and for you to get out. Therefore, around the extraction places, you're going to fight other people.
Exactly. So in Destiny, in Marathon and in Arc Raiders, the extraction points make a shit ton of noise, and they are in defined spots on the map, right? So you will encounter people there for good or for ill.
Yeah.
When you try to extract. For Arc Raiders, so for Marathon, I ran into for ill, including one guy who was scared of me and was invisible next to me waiting to secretly extract. Okay. And then we extracted, and I was like, there was a guy next to me, invisible.
Okay.
Cool.
Now, but
in Arc, similarly, you run into it's a big open room that is an elevator or a subway station. You're going to run into a bunch of people when you turn it on, but people can leave simultaneously. But the matches are timed. Like I think they're like 20 or 30 minutes.
So in these games where you said you had peaceful encounters with people and it was mostly chill and people were friendly, did you yada yada yada? Eventually, we had to shoot at each other to get the fuck out of this extraction.
No, we pulled the elevator and we waited for it to open up, and then shot any arc that showed back up, and then everybody got in, and somebody says, "Is everybody in?" And then you pull the lever and you go down, and everybody extracted.
Okay, so there is.
Or you could be a fucking psycho and shoot people in the back the instant that the elevator starts up to loot their body in the one time of safety when the doors are closed.
Okay, so PvP is 100% voluntary. You can
Absolutely.
all PvE, get your stuff, and extract with no downsides.
Marathon is a very PvP focused game. Like, the game wants you to be fighting other players, like as the default.
I mean, the pitch showed that primarily.
Yeah. Arc Raiders. There's essentially like two games in there. There's everybody's pretty much working together to do a player versus environment style gameplay. And then there is a absolute scum fuck nightmare, like murder hobo scenario. And even though they have, I think they call them Care Bear lobbies and killer lobbies.
Okay.
Even though they have these, what's interesting is that Arc Raiders has a reset kind of thing. It has like, it's a prestige, like in Call of Duty, where you give up all the stuff you've earned, all your money, all your materials, all your blueprints, but you get like a buff that goes on forever, right? And it's called an expedition. When the expedition leaves, because all these players that had all their items maxed out are now broke again, the game becomes more violent for a period of weeks because people actually need and want
and they
things
lost their stuff
more.
Okay. Does and I guess Marathon doesn't do any of that aggro server.
Marathon has a 3-month reset. After 3 months, I believe all of everybody's stuff resets.
But it does no aggro server matchmaking.
No, it has no aggro server matchmaking, and it doesn't matter if it did, because the people that are playing Marathon want to fucking kill you.
Okay.
And like, there's definitely appeal to that. It's very. Did you play PUBG?
No.
Playing Marathon and playing Arc Raiders on a shithead murder server feels like playing PUBG. Where it's like, it's a big wide open map and you're scrounging around and you are just like listening super, super, super careful because everything around you hates you.
So Arc is the exception here in the genre.
Arc's social component is a wild exception. It is the only one that is like that. And it is a result of their aggression-based matchmaking.
Okay. Now, at all of this analysis, and there's a key question that you haven't answered. Which one do you want?
Oh, the Arc Raiders is bluntly, at this point in time, Arc Raiders is a fundamentally more complete and better game. It has better graphics, it has better performance, it has better controls, it has more systems. The systems are more interesting to me personally. And there are functionally two different games contained within, one of which is a co-op shooter against the environment, and the other is a scumbag psycho simulator.
Okay.
Now, Marathon is solid. It is actually really impressive how far they built that game up from the alpha that I played. I am shocked that they put it together from one to the other.
But your preference is for the non-hostile, more cooperative PvE experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, my personal opinion is that in the extraction genre, and this opinion comes from ignorance of the extraction genre. I'm of the opinion that not knowing if the guy you are with is cool is much more interesting than knowing he is not cool.
That is more interesting.
Right? Like,
that
that's
is more
another
interesting.
player.
Yeah.
That's an enemy. is less interesting to me than a guy appearing to be chill and discovering that he is not chill.
Now, I would have assumed your perspective on this, informed by other genres, would have been, fuck other people. I don't want to deal with that shit
absolutely.
at all. So this is all very like, really?
Arc Raiders
Talking to strangers and really?
It is the only game I have played since Bad Company 2 on the 360 that I have been like, I want to turn the microphone on and talk to these people as a general rule, all the way up to and including the guy extracting with us. And I was like, bro, what is that noise? And he's like, that's my baby crying in the background.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
And I was like, wow, just like the good old days. And then I think he hit a bong and went,
yeah. And it sounds like no slurs.
No one called me a name. In fact, my stream paints me as a degenerate psychopath because I am the only person who committed 99% of the violence seen in the game. Down to the point where I was chit-chatting with a guy and he said, hey, man, why are you so nervous? Or some equivalent. I'm like, oh, I shot a bunch of people last round. So I'm worried I got put into a psycho lobby. And he said, don't worry about it. And turned his back on me.
Okay.
And he was in the process of literally walking into my character and being like, look at this cool gun I have. I have like the best shotgun and it's the highest rarity. Isn't that cool? And I'm like, yeah. And then he just turned around and walked away.
Never mind.
And I was like fighting with my heart very strongly.
Never mind Pokopia. This too is a result of the pastures.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no, they're both good games. I happen to think that Arc is like an excellent game.
Okay.
Whereas Marathon could use some work.
Interesting. Twist outcomes for both of these, of the slop versus off.
Yeah. I really wish both games were not ethically compromised in a very significant way.
Sure, there's that, definitely. Yeah.
But who am I to talk after I play all those Capcom games? Or Sega games?
Sure.
It's fucking...
Continue, or Riot, or at that industry. Yeah, no, we know. Overall, though, it's yeah. I'm like, because there's things about that. I'm like, I didn't know that's what was going on there, especially with the like third person shit and stuff. But as interesting as this all is, I am fundamentally just not at all into what. That.
I don't think so.
I am like, people are like, he's it. I'm like, you couldn't be further. I am so not into any of this.
I did have a really fun moment playing Arc Raiders where I'm like, hey guys, hold on. Hold on. I'm generating a cope thought.
Mm-hmm.
And that cope thought is, well, I waited until after it had already sold millions of copies and won tons of awards. I didn't contribute to its enormous popularity and success. Therefore...
You done? Just give me a thumbs up if you're done.
That is, in fact, actually the totality of it.
You're done.
Yes.
Okay, I assume you're done. All right. Yeah. Cool. Whatever the fuck the rest of that was.
It was exactly what you thought it was. It was exactly what you thought it was.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. That
I gotta take a literal 60-second piss.
BRB. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. This week, Castle Super Beast is brought to you by Rocket Money. If you are signing up for a bunch of services and junk that you don't even remember, if you are paying monthly subscriptions to things you don't use, stuff you've forgotten about, stuff that has changed name, changed price, who knows what's going on, you wanna get rid of that, and Rocket Money can help you do so. It is the best way. It's a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions. And considering how often that happens these days, I find it very, very useful for just looking at that all in one place. It has gotten away from me. I've looked at some subscriptions and like crossed my eyes and tilted my head, figuring out when I signed up for this, what this is for, why the price changed, etc.
Why'd you change the name?
Exactly. And Rocket Money tracks all of that, makes it very simple. Yeah, it can help you cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitor spending, helps you lower your bills even, so you can grow your savings. And the particular of a name changing, price changing, whatever it is, subscription service that has been sitting there, hoping that you would forget about it. It can alert you to that type of stuff and let you know, and then help you, not have to jump through the hoops. Yeah, you can get that hooked up pretty simply. It can just I had it. You take a look at your PayPal or whatever account you have most of your transactions going into. I remember again one time I was trying to unsubscribe from a service that was sending me an email to temporarily click on a link that was going to expire inside the app to then go outside to. It was insane. And I'm like, okay, this is a dark pattern. This is nefarious. I see exactly what you're going for. I don't want to deal with that, So, yeah, very convenient for Rocket Money to just be available and simplify that entire process. And real talk, it's not going anywhere in terms of like more subscription services are going to continue to do this. So you just want to, nip it in the bud and not have to worry about it going forward. So yeah, be sure to check that out. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/superbeast. That's rocketmoney.com/superbeast. rocketmoney.com/superbeast. Very convenient and useful. Thank you, Rocket Money.
Thanks, Rocket Money.
This week, the podcast is also sponsored by Shopify. That is the go-to service if you are trying to get your business off the ground and you want to set up your online shop. You want to start selling, or if you're already selling and you want to expand it to the next level, Shopify is perfect for helping you out behind the scenes. There's a lot that goes into setting up an online business, and it can be very confusing. I know from us with t-shirts, it was very much out of my depth and didn't know how to set any of that stuff up, much less integrate it anywhere. And yeah, Shopify makes it real easy to set up your shop with your own design studio. You got tons of templates you can pick from to set up your online shop. You can help design and track all the different information that would be useful for wherever you're selling to. If people are browsing to you from social media, or if they're going to your website, wherever it is, you've got all the info to help you. It's basically like you have a marketing team. You've also got Shopify behind a number of successful brands out there as well. If you are trying to get support, they've got 24/7 customer support for you, award-winning. And yeah, that Shop Pay button that you see on millions of businesses around the world is one of the reasons why Shopify is very good. It's the best at converting checkout on the planet. So I know I use the Shop app for a lot of stuff I order on a regular basis. It's pretty darn useful. So check them out, whether you're at your millionth or your first sale. It's time to turn those what ifs into cash with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/superbeast. That's shopify.com/superbeast. One more time, shopify.com/superbeast. Thank you, Shopify.
Thanks, Shopify.
And this week, the podcast is sponsored by Quince is the comfortable sweater producing company that has been making some great stuff. The sweater I am wearing right now is my favorite sweater. It's cozy as hell. It's got the dad
My
energy.
wife stole my sweater.
Yeah, well, time to fix that. I've my dad wardrobe. My dad wardrobe has been greatly enhanced by getting some Quince sweaters, and it's nice because like baby just loves like nestling up, and she loves to feel the
Yeah.
fabric. She always reaches out, she grabs my beard, and then she kind of rubs around and grabs and is like, oh, she can feel this, and this is nice and smooth, and it's this is I mean, look, it's quite simple, but the fanciness of a Mongolian cashmere sweater, I would have never known about that material, and that's what this is. And I'm like, wow, they're not playing around. It's cozy, and I can tell because, like I said, kid falls asleep nice and easy in my arms, especially with this smoothness. Yeah, there's a lot of fabrics and stuff that are out there, and they've got a lot of options as well. You can browse through. They've got a season to season lineup, tons of options, whether you want linen bottoms or tops. You got tees, Pima cotton, European jersey linen. I had no idea about any of this stuff, but for me, the lightweight cashmere sweater, 100% Mongolian, is I have an opinion on it, whereas I did not have one before this. So that's good stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You don't have to overcomplicate your wardrobe. You don't need a closet full of options. You just need a few pieces that actually work and ones that are comfy. And yeah, I've been going for this one pretty much on a regular basis. So right now, go to quince.com/superbeast for free shipping and 365-day returns. That's a full year to build your wardrobe and love it, and you will. It's now available in Canada as well. Don't settle for clothes that don't last. Go to quince.com/superbeast. And that's free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/superbeast. Thanks, Quince.
Thanks, Quince.
Okay. So, anything else, or should we get into the news? Because there's a couple things to touch on.
Just the news. I got to get out of here relatively soon.
Exactly. So, one, what happened this week? They announced Project Helix, the next Xbox console. Unsurprising.
Why would I buy an Xbox console when this monster can is an Xbox?
This plushie is an Xbox.
This PlayStation 5 controller is an Xbox.
Believe it or not, this Nintendo DS copy of Hotel Dusk Room 215, that's an Xbox.
This crippled ass dog is an Xbox.
That's fucking crazy.
He's got Uno.
So, unsurprisingly, after the leadership changes, like one into the other, they're like, hey, let's tease the new console. Probably let's get some good PR going. What with everything, that has been the AIification that everyone is expecting to come to this brand.
I'm just gonna say, I understand new management. Let's tease something. Fucking weird decision when they're still putting all their games on other platforms.
Well, that's not gonna.
There's no like.
Is it a weird?
Why would I get excited to buy the fucking next Xbox?
Well, it might not be a weird decision when you hear the details of the console and can anticipate to fill in the blanks on what the rest is going to be.
All right, what do you got? What do you got for me?
I mean, my guess would have been pretty much it, but like, okay, so what we know, 2027.
No.
What we
straight up?
Wait, no, as in I reject your premise.
That's not gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
This RAM shit, just no fucking way.
Right.
They're gonna miss it.
Yeah. So I think that everyone basically saw that whole shakeup and went, okay, this brand is dead, and they're like, no, we're not. Here's what we're working on. And so they put out this. You got the 2027 is what they're saying. They're already saying stronger than a PSX is what they're aiming for.
Yeah, no fucking it better be. What the
price points between $1,000 and $1,200. And
fuck that.
If the ROG is coming in at 1,000, then yeah, expect it to be more. And of course, and the pricing you're looking at is because, is this a console or is it a PC?
It doesn't matter. It's too expensive.
It's a Helix. You see, it's both coming together. Here's what happens: is basically you're getting a Xbox that is going to play Steam games, that's going to play other company launcher games as well. Thus, the library doesn't have to be an exclusive Xbox related thing. Thus, you're challenging PlayStation, but you're
buying a Steam machine made by Microsoft.
Exactly. The Steam machine is also your competitor.
There's so much appeal
and
for me of that.
Well, only the Helix box is going to have whatever litany of AI features that are going to be proprietary to it.
This shit is so fucking...
So yes,
you said so I didn't hear the price. That the price of these things has to come down. Sony put out their own statements being like, hey, kicking up the price like $10 has hurt sales more than the money we made off of copies sold.
The balloon
volume for video games, guys.
The bubble must grow, you fucking fool. You absolute buffoon, the bubble must grow. We have committed the entire Western, the entire market, the entire US, everything is standing on AI right now. We have committed to it. Right? Missiles are blowing up AI in across the world, AI centers as like strategic points and targets. It's how important the market is with this bubble, right? That price is not coming down. This is what we're pushing. And
but
again,
Billy, what about polls that show the average person hates AI? What about that?
We have built a system of shorting babies. We're not going back now. We're already here. All right? We've decided to put the whole thing on the quicksand, man. It's too late to question it. It's too late to pull back. We're committing. We're all in. And you know what? If we sell enough of these fucking 360s, we can get the money before they red ring, you son of a bitch. If we get the money before they red ring, then everything will be fine. We'll just replace them later and we'll win. It won't matter. It doesn't matter if there's a time limit. We sell now.
No, but it does, because video game consoles make their money off of software sales.
Attachment rates, who cares?
Only Nintendo makes money off the box.
Attach this to your asshole and sit on it.
The entire business model of your standard console is loss leading into software sales. So you need software sales. And because of your platform holder fee is a percentage of software sales, you actually need to make a high volume of software sales. Oh, you're just pretending like I'm a nagging wife? Oh, I'm sorry, I understand this business, Microsoft.
Or my box will have Steam on it, so all the games
Steam box will have Steam on it.
And all the games are already there, but you will come to my Helix box because the Copilot AI features will not be available anywhere else.
Wooly, did you see the reviews of the Xbox ROG thing and how like I think ran into the fact that every part of the Microsoft interface was like a completely broken fucking piece of shit and would like brick the fucking console at random. Like,
I mean, at a certain point, it's just literally I can't hear you.
The reason why people have nostalgia for Blades is that every single interface refresh that Xbox has ever done has made it a more unreliable piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. The funnest thing was booting up that Xbox One and seeing that it looked like Windows 7 and just fucking dying. Like the Metro style shit that was being pushed or whatever. Like, and you know, there's no backing down. I think this is what it is, man. I think you're going to have a PC that will, yes, have Xbox exclusives if anyone wants to bother developing one. Or you can just install Steam or install fucking Epic Game Launcher or GOG or whatever else is available, because other games launchers will work here, thus their libraries will work here, and we're just going to push fucking Copilot and shove it down your fucking throat,
Do you know
and
what
you
I'm
will
going
learn
to
to
see?
love it.
I'm going to see the Steam machine release at a similar price point with similar specs, but it's made by Valve, and it will be an open platform, and it will sell out instantaneously no matter what it costs. And it will become, you will see threads that will be the most depressing shit ever, which is like, I can't find a Steam machine. Should I just get a Helix instead?
The
And people will go,
Microsoft
"No,
Helix box
wait."
will suck your dick.
Hey, Wooly, I have a question. I have a really important question. This is genuinely vital.
$1,200.
This is a vital question to this argument. Are you ready for it?
Hit me.
I'm going to spend, so we're talking 1,200 USD. I'm going to spend $1,600 plus tax, $1,800.
Oh, CAD? We doing the CDN convert
Yeah, we're
on
doing
this?
CAD. I'm going to spend $1,700 on this new Xbox. And part of the appeal is that it has all the storefronts that you would expect out of a personal computer, right?
Always.
Right? That's the appeal?
Yep.
Will I be able to play Ghost of Yotei on it?
Well, hold on.
Because like if I can play all the games on it.
When Ghost of Yokohama is coming to the PS6, perhaps you can enjoy a port.
Oh, you don't even have this story on your docket? Sony's quitting.
No, we did that last week. Oh no, that was that's part two.
Sony's quitting.
Part
They're
one,
not doing PC ports anymore.
Part one is yes, we will have Yotei when the sequel is coming out on the PlayStation.
But they're not doing that anymore either. They're just gonna. If you want to play a Sony game or a Nintendo game, you need to buy a Sony platform or a Nintendo platform.
We have Yotei at home. Please click.
Yeah?
Please click the Hey, Copilot, find me a samurai game. And then it'll make one for you.
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
It right there has been prepared.
That one.
You know when you search for something on Netflix and it knows what you're looking for, but it's not there, it'll autocomplete it and be like, "Oh, I know what you want."
That sends me straight to the high seas every time.
It's like, you're looking for this thing that we don't have.
That is like a genuine, that might be the worst interface thing I've ever seen in my life.
You are showing me. You're auto-completing to show me that you don't have it.
Genuinely unbelievable.
It's like, yeah, I know what you're looking for. But hey, how about this? Copilot has prepared a samurai game for you. Look, please.
It runs at 4 FPS and it's going to get taken down by lawyers in 2 weeks. But yeah, here it is.
It is currently generating. It has generated a slop AI fucking game for you right now. Please enjoy.
I can't believe they would spend the money on the RAM to put out an overpriced console in the situation they have created. They are better off doing nothing until Sony makes a big fucky.
So, new person, whatever, new direction, new thing in charge. How do we turn this thing around? How do we turn this thing around? How do we turn this thing around, baby?
Phil and Sarah left this new person a big old fucking whole bowl of shit to eat.
I mean, but
they have left that place in a dire fucking state.
Or it was on the chopping block, and this is a no, wait, hold on. How can we AI this? Right? Because, I mean, we've watched this weird, zombie Xbox existence for this generation kind of last and be this, weird thing where you're like, oh, yeah, they're around, but what's going on, And this attempt appears to be we'll save it by turning it into something that it's just not, right? It's a particularly locked line of PCs. And they'll be all in on,
Can I get the Microsoft OS off the device entirely?
Go fuck yourself.
Okay, so
you son of a bitch.
why would I buy this thing instead of the Steam machine?
You You will be lucky if booting it up gives you anything besides a logo that talks to you in a voice and a microphone to tell you what you want it to do.
Like genuinely, they're setting themselves up to compete with an explicitly identically priced better product.
I mean,
fucking why? And you know what? Valve games are going to be exclusive to fucking Valve, and you know it. You're not going to play Deadlock on a fucking Xbox through that bullshit. But you're going to want the fancy Steam controller with the thumb pads that only works on the Steam machine.
No. You see, they can't make it exclusive, but they can give you incentives, right?
They can make it better.
They can give you incentives to pull you away, which is ultimately, and to be real, this is the Microsoft future that they wanted, right? This is them going on their own into the, hey guys, consoles don't matter, let's do the everyone can play anything thing, right?
Yeah.
The question is, because it's going to be backwards compatible as well, that's part of the thing.
Of course.
So it's just like, what is development for the exclusive Helix going to look like at all? And is there any reason to actually bother?
So here's the part that like all this stuff is so super fascinating, because Xbox said, hey man, who cares about exclusives? Let's put everything on everything. And part of that push was that large scale, like multiplayer populations could create a scenario in which games functionally only existed on one place, right? Hey, did you want to play an anime fighter online back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're playing it on Xbox, you're a buffoon, because everyone who plays that's going to be on PlayStation, right?
Yes.
So, hey, let's do cross-play as a big incentive. So the fact that our multiplayer games aren't dead on our own system isn't a problem, right?
Yes.
So Sony's also going to do that. Sony, the news coming out of the PC port thing is that Sony live service games that use multiplayer are still going to come to PC, because having a gigantic user base for that is more important than getting them as an exclusive. Like, so something like Helldivers or something like that, right? Okay, so we've done the crossplay thing. And they're like, what? Do games even need to be exclusive anymore? Of course not. And then Sony goes, yeah, they do. From you. And Nintendo goes, I'm not listening to you fuckers at all.
We're doing our own thing, of course.
Mario is going to be on a Nintendo until this company burns the fuck down.
But if Sony, and I wonder if the timing is at all relevant here, because if Sony is going, well, PC is not really our opponent, they're off to the side, it doesn't matter, we only care about
they're
Microsoft.
A place we're going to port Marathon to so that we have more players in the lobby.
As long as you don't show up on an Xbox, that's all we care about. And Xbox is like, well, we are a PC, so now what? And then Sony's like, well, I'm out, fuck you. You know, like, I don't know, because Microsoft going their own way, yeah, sort of, but their own way is like following in the shadows and sneaking up behind and trying to still be in the same space and picking up the crumbs. I don't know if it was
on this podcast or if it was on my stream, but Microsoft is giving massive, like, showing up to the key party alone energy. We
don't have our own exclusives, but
right. I don't have any keys to drop in, but can I still pull one out? How about you get the fuck out of here?
You know, if I can enjoy some of yours, you know, I mean,
no.
Hey.
Or alternatively, they come back with their keys and everyone's like, don't even drop that in the bowl, man.
That's brutal.
Just get out of here.
That's brutal. That hurts.
Halo Infinite? No thanks.
You already gave up your banjo. You already gave up your Master Chief.
You're letting us you're letting us play Indiana Jones over here for free. Why would
this analogy all right.
This analogy is starting to get off the rails. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. So
you know what? And then you can take it further. Like, well, is Joanna gonna come around? No, we canceled Perfect Dark.
Dark is out.
Oh, well, then you need to get out.
Dark is ink. Dark ain't.
The only reason we even hung out with you is so we could hang out with Joanna. But you guys aren't even together. Oh, get the fuck out of here.
I think honestly, it's you avoid losing. How can you lose the generation when you sidestep it entirely? right?
Yeah.
There you go. Big
That's
think.
what Stadia said.
Big think.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is the like of all the things, of all the details that we got or whatever that's being guessed, it's just what's not being said, what's going to be the biggest, like, watch the push just be everything about this. You boot the thing up and it's a search box and a circle that you have to talk to, you know?
Sony is so confident that this fucking thing has no market threat. They have started testing motherfucking dynamic pricing this week on the PlayStation Store. That is how unthreatening this shit is. They are getting ready to fuck us over years in advance. And doing surge pricing on fucking video games.
And right now, the dynamic pricing test is how much of a discount you get, right? So,
which, you know what?
That's sure.
Okay.
But surely it's going to stay that way, right? And so not be about how much extra you pay.
So they have to be really careful because Steam has experience with this, right? Have you noticed that a lot of PC games on Steam come with 10% discounts for the first, like, couple of weeks?
Okay.
The reason why that is because we have decades of teaching people not to buy games anywhere near their release date. In fact, games on Steam go on sale like 6 times a year, minimum 20% discount. But hey, it's 10% off. Now I might as well get it on launch day. If they do dynamic pricing,
the longer you wait,
they are
the
just going to
discount.
Cause the situation of it's not on sale.
Fuck
Why
this.
would I buy it? It'll go on sale. If I don't buy games long enough,
if you take,
it'll go on sale.
Yep.
This is what Warframe does this. If you take it, so Warframe has daily rewards, and sometimes the daily reward from Warframe is a 50% off coupon on the store or a 75% coupon off on the store. And wouldn't you believe it? The longer you've been away from Warframe,
my God,
the higher the likelihood that one of those good coupons will show up.
Oh wow. Okay, that's ugh. There must
it's basically
be
free money.
There must be somewhere on this planet, I imagine, a country with a law that is really fucking strict about, hey, you walked in and this is the price you pay, and you walked in and this is a different price you pay. There's got to be something about that.
Is probably ours.
I was going to say Australia, but I don't know.
Australia, Canada, and the EU are the most likely to actually do that.
There must be some fucking like level of, are you insane? That's the most anti-consumer shit of all time.
Now, that doesn't mean that they can't do dynamic pricing in the regions that it's not against the law.
Of course not. And you know what sucks is when I first heard the term,
which means region locking will come back.
Well, when I first heard the term, I thought I went, oh, good. Because I assumed that meant that if you're buying the same game in Brazil or, you know, anywhere around the world in different countries, that the price would be dynamic according to the currency it's in, and that it would be accounted for and not be like you're paying the same amount in exchange rate US dollars.
You know what it's going to be?
But that's not what it is at all.
It's going to be like, hey, Pat stares at PlayStation Network account. I see here that you own 7 God of War games. We will never put the new God of War on sale for you, ever, because you clearly really like it, and you're probably going to get it eventually. And it'll say, hey, you bought 6 of these the day they came out.
Yeah.
Why would we offer you a discount, you fucking bitch?
I will say that as soon as this came out, I saw that, like, because it sounds so fucked up immediately. And then it was like, no, wait, hold on. It's discounts. It's not from full price upwards. And it's like, oh, they know how to couch this immediately to try to find some sort of defense on it. But again, this is in test because there's surely no way it'll ever be for full price and above, right? Clearly.
You know what you do? I am under the assumption Sony knows that kicking up the price of games $10 or $20, depending on region, has hurt sales.
Oh, Canada.
What they can do is they can offer lower prices that are actually the old price of video games. Oh my
God, if Canadian games become actually Canadian $59.99.
only the ones they deem you
Oh my
less
god.
likely to
Oh
buy.
Jesus Christ. Fucking Street Fighter 4. Ever since then. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, moving on, but that's part of it. And by the way, watch the fucking PS6 price come in at Price is Right rules and just clear like it will be $999 as long as we're cheaper than that
They
thing.
they are they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. They're pricing these things out of the range of like 5 to 10-year-olds, which will then ostensibly grow up into freaks like ourselves that spend lots of money on games.
And somehow that will be cheaper than the chip that's fucking in it by the time it hits your house from walking from the store. Anyway, whatever.
Stupid.
That's a whole other thing. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but yeah, so Gang of Dragon, rough times. Apparently they're pulling NetEase is pulling funding, and Negoshi Studio might be shutting down based on the fact that they needed to re-up on. They asked for more money for development in order to reach completion. And they asked for an additional 7 billion yen at a time when NetEase has been shutting down tons of international game development operations.
Yeah, so NetEase is actually the secret embracer group, the embracer of China, in which they offered tons of people cool deals, new studios, infinite funding to make games for them. And then a couple of years ago, they're like, nah, fuck that, actually. This costs a lot of money. Let's just cancel them.
Well, between Squeenix and Capcom and all these different companies, there's always a international fund that you're like, let's fuck around with the planet and see what else. Let's get a couple studios around the planet to fuck, and then eventually be
so
like.
For example, NetEase is the company that closed Visions of Mana during my sponsored Visions of Mana stream.
Ah, okay.
The company that was willing to send out the ad money to pay me, but not the studio.
Yeah. No, they and there was like a list of the different things that they shut down over the last couple of years as well. They again, you play around, you get into the international market, and then when it's like, no, none of this is working, they pull back from it entirely, and then usually consolidate and focus at home. Visions of Mana 2024, Grasshopper Manufacturer as well was listed here. What Bad Brain, Vancouver-based Worlds Untold, a whole bunch of other games are on this list. But either way,
that being said,
Yakuza, no matter what they're doing with their new Kiwami 3 universe or whatever, it's like, well, so if the competition is fucking dead.
Here's what's weird, right? This is Itsuno of the, not Itsuno, Negoshi of the former Like a Dragon team, right? Made lots of Yakuza games. Super weird guy to come out and go, we went massively over budget. Actually, put out like 20 games in a row under budget on time. What happened?
They had to start from scratch without any of the existing assets and
it's been decades since I made a genuinely new game.
Infrastructure that they had, because Yakuza's been running on the same thing for a long time now.
Alternatively, it's possible that the Like a Dragon team occasionally received a little alley-oop from some friends of theirs in the community that were personally interested at seeing the Like a Dragon game succeed.
Perhaps
old friends of Sega, perhaps. It's impossible to know.
Perhaps also getting Ma Dong-seok and big actors to do stuff had a cost as well.
It's possible that similar friends in China were not as interested.
But I'm imagining that a big part of Yakuza's under budget magic has been because they were building the same thing and kept using the engine that they had to switch it up, like a KOF game.
I gotta tell you, man, Gang of Dragon probably was going to be really cool. I could not have been more disappointed to hear. Here's the new game from Nagoshi. It's the same fucking thing again. Like genuinely unbelievable. It's the same fucking thing again, and it's the same fucking location. I can't believe it.
The depths of his soul are screaming spite, anger, and also, I'm never going back to Monkey Ball, you fuckers. You can't make me.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
You can't make me. I'm tanned
He
up.
looked happier when he was working on Monkey Ball.
He did.
He did. Before he turned into, quote, this weird tan Yakuza baby.
Pre-crisis, man. Pre-crisis, Nagoshi. All right, moving on. There is something kind of insane, and yeah, maybe I'm sure we'll be getting into this in the future a bit more. But when Pal World can Pal World Pokemon, who Pal Worlds the Pal World?
Oh, this fucking thing.
Right? Who watches the Watchmen?
This fucking thing kicks so much ass, dude.
If the courts can decide that Pal Worlding a Pokemon is okay, then who's to stop you from Pal Worlding a Pal World? In comes Pikmon. This fucking somehow, like, you know, when
this fucking thing,
you watch the Pal World bit and you're like, this is insane, this is blatant, and it's kind of hilarious because look at them fucking putting guns in their hands and having the slave shops and all that wild commentary, etc. Well, this is all of that, but without any of the little extra bit and just the full-on, oh, we legally can steal your assets. What are you going to do? That is a Mamarest. That is a Mamarest. You can't stop us, right?
I think the craziest one is that the big crystal on the logo is like a 1-to-1 lifted copy of the Limsa Lominsa Aetherite and FF14. Like it's
above
crazy.
It, to the side, is a Charizard with a little bit of fur on its chest.
Yeah, just a little bit.
With Link with a gun on it, right? Now the insane thing here is that Pikmon, as this game is called, it's the developing company.
Also the fucking name, dude. Oh my god.
It's called Pikmon. Which I remember when Miyamoto announced Pikmin, and I was like, word, bro? Really? Pikmin? All right. Anyway, Pikmon, and the company's called.
Oh my god! It's actually. Wait, the fucking developer's name is
Pocket Game.
Holy shit!
Pocket Game, not Pocket Pair, not Game Freak. Pocket Game. The absolute lack of fucks to give, and this is inevitable. Man. This is inevitable because the pathway, right? Once you legally open the door, it's done.
China?
It's done. There's no reason to give a shit, right? And here's the thing:
oh fuck,
you could almost wonder about like the social experiment that is like, what is to stop me from ripping off the ripoff, right? What reason is there to give a fuck? Here's how little, like, there's the integrity couldn't be any further in the basement. There's a fucking
that's Link.
There's yeah. There is a one of the Pokemon on that box art that you see in the trailer is not even being stolen from Pokemon or from Pal World. It's being stolen from fan art of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right? So you're seeing this
oh, that's just red Rayquaza. Oh man.
What was it called? Meganium, a grass fairy type concept Pokemon that was just stolen from fan art, and it's the exact fan art. They're going and they're grabbing concept Pokemon that people have posted online and putting them into the fucking game. Like,
just fucking steal it.
Like zero fucking scruples, no fucks given, no integrity whatsoever.
That's
the most
just Roadhog's model from Overwatch.
Literally Roadhog.
That's his model.
Theft maxing is like, this is, I'm shaking my ass at you and I'm wearing a checkered jumpsuit. I dare you to arrest me, Copper. I dare you. What are you gonna do, pig? It's crazy. Like, they're baiting jail with this, man.
I've never seen it like this.
They're touchdown dancing, end zone with the football going in the jail, out the jail, with Pikmon here.
It's never been like this. This is oh man.
And honestly, between that and the actual stealing of fan art, lock them up.
Yeah.
Arrest these assholes. Shut it
Put him in a
down.
cell next to Bungie.
This is crazy. Lock them the fuck up, man. What are we doing here? They're just like the asset flip is, yeah. But picking the target that's currently under lawsuit as well is just wild.
All right, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah,
I gotta go do a stream with Peach Saliva over at twitch.tv/Pet at YouTube. We gotta beat Shadow of the Colossus and Blind Leading the Blind in half an hour because everyone in the house is getting sick. And if we leave in a couple days, we won't be able to do it.
Awesome. We'll get to the rest of it next time. Take care, everybody.